This is Legion Field, Birmingham, Alabama, home of the Birmingham Stallions of the United States Football League. Today, the Stallions open the second USFL season against the New Jersey Generals. An improving look for both teams. The Generals' great running back, Herschel is ready, with NFL veteran Brian Sipe moving into quarterback for New Jersey. For Birmingham, Auburn's Joe Cribbs comes home from Buffalo to play, and Cliff Stoudt moves from Pittsburgh to quarterback Birmingham. Now, here is Frank Gifford.
Good afternoon, I'm Frank Gifford, and this is opening day of season number 2 for the United States Football League. The league has taken on a new look from last season, a season that culminated with the championship game before some 50,000 fans in Denver's Mile High Stadium. The key play in that game, Michigan Panther quarterback Bobby Hebert hitting wide receiver Anthony Carter with this scoring shot as Michigan became the first USFL champions. Last year, the USFL was comprised of 12 teams in most of the country's major markets. And in an effort to gain more national exposure, the league has made some rather dramatic changes. The Boston team has shifted to New Orleans, and Chicago and Arizona switched franchises. In addition, 6 expansion teams have been added for the 1984 season. San Antonio, led by former UCLA quarterback Rick Neuheisel. The Houston Gamblers have former University of Miami quarterback Jim Kelly, and other quarterback Doug Williams, formerly of Tampa Bay, is with Oklahoma. The Memphis Showboats landed All-American defensive end Reggie White. The Pittsburgh Maulers signed Heisman Trophy winner Mike Rozier, and in Jacksonville, former New York Jet quarterback Matt Robinson will be calling the plays. The league is divided into 2 conferences and 4 divisions. In the Atlantic Division, the only expansion team is in Pittsburgh. The Southern Division has 2 expansion teams and the transplanted New Orleans Breakers. The Central Division has 3 expansion franchises and last year's champion Michigan Panthers. And finally, the Pacific Division, it's the only one without an expansion team. The USFL has an 18-game schedule and will be on hand to bring you exciting regional and national coverage. This year, 8 teams will make the playoffs, the 4 divisional winners plus 4 wildcard teams. ABC will televise the divisional playoffs on June 30th and July 1st, the conference championships on July 7th and 8th, and finally, the championship game from Tampa on July the 15th. It all adds up to an exciting season of football, and you'll watch it right here on ABC. We'll be going to the game in your area right after this.
ABC Sports presents the second season of the United States Football League, the USFL. Today from Birmingham, Alabama, the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions. The sun is shining and it's about 65 degrees at Legion Field here in Birmingham, and it's easy to suggest that things are starting somewhat better for this second season of the USFL, because last year the first 3 games played in Birmingham were marked by flood, freeze, and typhoon. So apparently things are going to be better from the very beginning for this second season. Hello again, everybody. A year ago, within the ranks of the United States Football League, the big story was Herschel walking away from a year of eligibility at the University of Georgia. But now Walker has had some rest. And here is how Herschel looks at the second season for himself.
Well, my mental attitude is great because I'm coming into the second season, and I'm at least got the opportunity now to go out and try to have my head together and have at least my mind into what I'm doing. Physically, I'm a little bruised up, but I think overall I'm so excited about playing where I'm making over comeback.
Running back Joe Cribbs, who was a great player for the Auburn Tigers, has come home to play football, coming from the Buffalo Bills. 1977 had an 85-yard touchdown run here. Just last Friday, the courts cleared him to play at home.
Yeah, and I feel great about it. The ruling was something that I expected. I'm glad it's over with now. I'm glad it didn't go on into the season where I'd had this hanging over my head during the season. So now I don't really have any problems. I can relax and play football.
And Lynn Swann, the great wide receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers, has proven that his retirement announcement was firm, because he's back with us for the second USFL season. And Swanee, I guess these 2 teams reflect to a large degree what's been going on in the off-season. A lot of changing.
A lot of changing, a lot of deal-making, and a lot of improving on paper. The Birmingham Stallions have improved with the addition of Joe Cribbs, one of the best. They've also improved with experience behind the center at quarterback with Cliff Stoudt, who will provide leadership. Jim Smith, I think, is the best receiver in the USFL. He's healthy, coming off a little bit of a knee injury last year, and Joey Jones, a remarkable young receiver from Alabama. On the other side, the New Jersey Generals have Brian Sipe. He is a man who provides leadership, poise, and intelligence. He will operate that offense utilizing Herschel Walker, but utilizing more of a short passing game to keep people off balance. On defense, well, the New Jersey Generals went out and got 4 NFL veteran linebackers, but in front of them, the defensive line only has a combined experience of 2 years, while the secondary is improved with Gary Barbero, all-pro safety out of Kansas City. The Birmingham Stallions, a young defense. The entire secondary is new. The linebackers are playing well. There's some experience on the defensive line. Dave Purefoy from Detroit and Green Bay will provide a great pass rush. All in all, it's improvement on paper, Keith. Today we begin to find out if they improve on the field.
They have moved experience in to go with the young people. Their success in signing their college draft choices was quite pronounced. But I guess, as you said, let's get it out of the drawing room and put it on the field and see what happens in this second season of the USFL. They're expecting a crowd of some 55,000 people this afternoon for the opening game for the Birmingham Stallions. The New Jersey Generals in the white, winning the toss. They have taken the football. They will receive. But the crowd is up for it, and the game is on. A high kick. Wynn carries it down to the 1. Marcus Hackett from the 1 to the 15 to the 20 to the... In this second season as number 17, Brian Sipe, 10 years with the Cleveland Browns, comes onto the field. The offensive backs and receivers, Maurice Carthen, who is a rapidly developing football player, in the backfield with Herschel Walker. McConaughey is one of the wide receivers, and Collins is the other. The offensive line was weak for New Jersey last year. They have added Doug Mackey and Dave Lapham. The other people were young people a year ago. Sam Bowers has won the tight end job. Victor Hicks was traded away. This year, the United States Football League will go with 7 officials. They have added 1. The defensive unit, they're your officials. The clock apparently is the problem because no time ran off of it. Parkinson, the referee. Dave Fuller, the umpire. Walker, the head linesman. Line judge is Larry Hill. Dick Eichhorst, the back judge. Side judge is Joe Richwine. And we're told now that time will be kept on the field. The clock is not cooperating. So everything seems to be in order except the electronic marble at each end of the stadium. Here's the first real snap of the season for Brian Sipe as a New Jersey General. A one-back offense, and they send the man in motion going toward the other open side of the field and hand the ball off to Maurice Carthen. And Carthen, moving from the 23, gets it out to the 26 for a pickup of 3 yards. The defensive alignment for Birmingham. Dave Purefoy, Jimmy Walker, Jackie Klein, Dallas Hickman. They're hoping that Purefoy will give them some pass rush. The linebackers are Herb Spencer, Dan Gooch, and David Evans. And actually, Birmingham at times will be in a 4-4 defensive alignment. The defensive secondary you saw there. It is second down, and they call it 7 for the New Jersey Generals. Carthen is the man, the lone back, in the backfield. And again, they have motion with Clarence Collins, the rookie out of Illinois State. And the handoff goes to Carthen again. Just keeps on bowling his way up to about the 29. So they'll be looking at 3rd and about 4.
The Birmingham Stallions usually play a 3-4 defense. 3 down linemen with 4 linebackers. They decided in this ball game to go with 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs as the norm. What they're trying to do is confuse the offensive blocking scheme of the New Jersey Generals and get penetration.
And it is interesting that Herschel Walker did not start the ball game. Rather, Maurice Carthen started. Walker has both shoulders a bit bruised. Now it's Clarence Harmon joining Carthen in the backfield, with Collins again going in motion, and Sipe's first pass to the sideline. The pass is completed out across the 35 to the 37 to Clarence Collins, and at 6'1", 175, makes the catch on his knees and picks up the first down of the ball game.
Well, that completion was good for about 8 yards. Nice controlled 3rd down pass. That's what Brian Sipe does so well. He controls the offense. Doesn't let things get out of hand and only uses what he has to.
And now Herschel Walker is in the backfield for New Jersey, making his first appearance. They pick up the first down, and they'll line up in the I formation with Walker tailback. And he's got the ball, and he's outside, and he's got a first down as he crosses midfield and goes to the Birmingham 47 before Ricky Ray knocked him out of bounds. So Herschel Walker, missing the first offensive series, steps in and immediately reels off a good solid run.
If Herschel Walker cannot continue to play as he just did on that last down, we're going to see Brian Sipe put the ball in the air more. As a matter of fact, Brian Sipe could put the ball in the air just to protect Herschel if those shoulders start to really bother him.
Joe Cribbs is the man waiting for his chance on the other side of the field for Birmingham. 16-yard pickup for Walker. First down, New Jersey. Birmingham 47. It is Walker again. And he reaches the 46 for a yard pickup before Jackie Klein of Alabama and Fred Bohannon of Mississippi Valley State bring him down. Klein signed out of Alabama with the Birmingham Stallions, 6'5", 280. Fred Bohannon had 1 year of experience with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Birmingham in the red, New Jersey in the white. Jeff Speck now checks in for New Jersey at tight end. He's a rookie out of San Diego State, has had a very good training season, and they're high on him. Cliff Stoudt is the quarterback coming from Pittsburgh, waiting on the sidelines for Birmingham. But right now, New Jersey trying to move the ball. Brian Sipe hangs in against the pressure, tries to get the ball to Walker. He couldn't do it. Covering him was David Evans out of Central Arkansas.
That time there was excellent penetration on the part of the defensive line. Sipe seemed to have enough time, but of course, looking downfield, the receivers were all covered. The secondary of the Birmingham Stallions, again, doesn't have much experience, but they have a great deal of speed. They'll be able to run with any of the receivers, as you'll see on the field today.
Walker is out of the game now. Clarence Harmon comes back in. Harmon had 6 years with the Washington Redskins. And it is third down and 9. Collins goes in motion. Split backs, and it figures pass. Sipe looks down the middle, goes down the middle, and the pass intended for Sam Bowers is knocked away, incomplete. The tight end running a corner pattern could not get away from Fred Bohannon, and it brings up 4th and 9.
Fred Bohannon was in Pittsburgh. He is a strong safety, and he is a strong football player. The defense for Birmingham is designed to have one-on-one coverage somewhere on the field when they're in an obvious passing situation. Here, he just plays underneath Sam Bowers. Brian Sipe identifies the single coverage, tries to hit him, but Fred Bohannon plays it perfectly.
Skip Johnson is in the punt. Oh, it's not Skip Johnson. Excuse me. Ron Frederick of Duke is back as the deep man for Birmingham, and Tim Cutts is the punter for New Jersey. Tim Cutts new, hangs it up in the air. The wind grabs a hold of it, forcing a fair catch ball back at the 11-yard line by Ron Frederick. 35 yards on the punt, no return. So Birmingham will get the football for the first time at the 11. You've got 10:20 roughly left to play as New Jersey picked up 2 first downs. And finally, you're going to get a chance to see Cliff Stoudt pull the trigger for the Stallions offense, and Joe Cribbs carry the football for Birmingham. We'll be right back. It is not exactly the most comfortable place on the field to start with your first offensive snap, your own 11-yard line, but that's where Birmingham has the ball after Tim Cutts' fine hanging punt forced the fair catch. Cliff Stoudt will open at quarterback. Joe Cribbs and Ken Tolton behind him, and Jim Smith is a wide receiver. Birmingham played it kind of close to the vest early a year ago, but we don't expect that to be the case. And the left guard, Buddy Adelette, jumps. Adelette moving, and it will cost a penalty flag on the Birmingham Stallions to back them up. So even with the guys who've been around, there's pressure. Joey Jones and Jim Smith. Joey Jones is the guy from Alabama who doesn't know he's a little guy. He plays big. Up front, Woods, Adelette, Banks. Of course, Tom is the longtime veteran out of Auburn. Pat Saindon, Pat Phoenix, and Darrell Mason, the tight end. They're double wide now to the top of the picture and working from their own 6 after the 5-yard penalty. Ball is handed off to Cribbs. Joe had gone in motion, stopped just behind the quarterback. And a little quick pop gets him out to about the 10, just across maybe the 11. So he'll have close to 5 yards on his first carry. The New Jersey defense lines up with 3 people up front, Lockett and Gilbert the ends, and of course Freddie Gilbert is the great All-American out of Georgia. Tom Woodland, veteran at center. They come in with 4 linebackers. They're all out of the NFL, Leopold, LeClaire, Harper, and Horn. And the defensive secondary led by Gary Barbaro, the All-Pro out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kerry Justin is not with the team. His mother is ill. They give the football to Joe Cribbs. And Cribbs, who played at Auburn and then had a fine 4 years with the Buffalo Bills, is stopped just short of the first down. Joe Cribbs and James Brooks, of course, were in that same Auburn backfield, and they were tremendous. And you can see what Joe did during his time at Buffalo, and he can do a lot of things for you.
We can expect to see Joe Cribbs come out of the backfield, catching passes downfield, not so much of the wide players, because he does run excellent patterns. They like to get him one-on-one with one of the older linebackers.
They've got 3 wide people now with Ron Frederick coming on to join Smith and Jones. And on 3rd down and about 6, Stout's pass is in the air and bounces off the numbers of Joe Cribbs. Joe had turned back and Cliff Stoudt drilled him hard right on the numbers, and he didn't come away with it.
Well, he was just reading the progression that the defense was giving him. Had he looked downfield, had he had time, he would have seen that Jim Smith was wide open. What they try and do here is get their people open underneath. This is Cliff Stout's first read. He's open, give him the ball. Right there, Joe Cribbs just can't hold on to it.
He was looking to run before he got the ball. That's simple. It is Skip Johnson in to punt for Birmingham. He's out of Auburn. Averaged 41.4 a year ago. Mike Williams is the beat man for New Jersey. With a wind at his back, doesn't get all of it, takes a New Jersey bounce and kicks out of bounds just across midfield at the Generals' 48, a 37-yard punt. And so the New Jersey Generals will get their second offensive possession, a very good field position at their own 48, no score. The Generals in their huddle, ready to go to work. The numbers on Brian Sipe's career at Cleveland came out of San Diego State before going to the Browns. And when he made the move from the Browns to the Generals, an awful lot of talk during last season about a sore shoulder, arm being worn out. And I think it is fair to say he is not a deep passer. There are a lot of people who can throw the ball farther than he can. But it was his wisdom that New Jersey wanted as much as anything. Walker is the I-back with Carthen in front of him, and Walker with a football runs through one tackler, crosses the midfield stripe, gets 4 yards on the carry before Jimmy Walker, a 3-year veteran out of Arkansas, brings him down. A year ago, Birmingham controlled the football. What was this one at 43.5 minutes?
43.5 minutes, and they just possessed the football, ran it up and down the field, kept it away from their offense. It only allowed Herschel Walker to carry the ball 11 times for 28 yards. Both teams being possession offenses.
Herschel has picked up 21 yards on 3 carries. It's 2nd down and 6. Walker running to the right, looking for some daylight, and he runs out of real estate, and he loses about a yard. The Birmingham defensive people, particularly Herb Spencer, outside linebacker from Newberry, and Fred Bohannon make the play.
What they're going to attempt to do, they know that New Jersey wants to run to the outside. They want to penetrate, defeat the line, string it out. You see the line there, no place to run upfield. They cut it off, then the pursuit comes in from behind. They've got a small group of defensive linebackers, but they've got excellent speed.
Walker is out now, and Clarence Harmon comes in to replace him in the backfield. They split the backs on 3rd down and 6. It reads pass all the way. Sam Bowers, the tight end, was a big target in the last half of the season. Birmingham may have jumped. Sipe's pass goes down the middle. Bowers makes the catch. 1st down, New Jersey. 24-yard line of Birmingham. Let's see about the penalty. It looked like encroachment by Dallas Hickman, defensive end.
Well, again, when Brian Sipe was at Cleveland, he always liked to throw the ball to his big tight end, Ozzie Newsome. Now he has Sam Bowers, who just gets past Fred Bohannon. Good concentration juggling the ball there. Just a simple little move coming to the inside. Sam Bowers took the job away from Victor Hicks after Victor Hicks was injured last year, outright at training camp. We'll take another look from the end zone. Brian Sipe is a very smart quarterback. All he has to do is just look downfield, read the defense. That time he didn't even have to read because Sam Bowers was right in front of his face, with no red jerseys around.
Dave Evans, cornerback, number 26, off the field, shaken up on the play. It is first down, New Jersey. Ball just inside the Birmingham 25. And it goes to Carthen. And Maurice Carthen reaches the 20. Carthen is a big back, 6'1", 230, out of Arkansas State. He was green as grass when he showed up last year in the backfield for New Jersey, but has had an outstanding training session after having a very solid second half of the season.
Well, like many of the young ball players that came into the USFL in 1983, and the teams, they improved. They got better as they realized they'd be there for the entire year.
Second down, call it 6. Picks up in the backfield. Ball finally given to Carthen. Broken play. Big hole right side, and he runs it down to about the 12.
The intent of the Birmingham defense is to penetrate and cut off running lanes. If you do that, then you leave yourself susceptible to trap plays, to delays. Right here, even with the mix-up, the delay helped that blocking. People penetrated, came upfield, opened up the hole. Carthen was able to get the ball, find a hole, get downfield to pick up yards for a first down.
Fred Bohannon, who has been all over the field, the strong safety for Birmingham in the early going.
22 seconds.
You're getting the read on the clock now from Bill Parkinson, the referee, because the stadium clocks are not working. And Bohannon, shaken up, they're attending to him right now, giving Brian Sipe time to come to the sidelines and talk with Walt Michaels and the coaching staff. They're working on the left leg, it appears, of Bohannon. And if they lose him this early in the ball game, it's going to be a big, big hole to fill.
Especially with only 6 defensive backs, and they're trying to play a defense utilizing 5 at all times. The loss of Fred Bohannon, who has the strength to cover Sam Bowers, will be tremendous. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Frank Gifford with the USFL update from New York. This is happening in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona with the football. George Allen gets his team into the end zone first against Oakland. Kevin Long, the former Jet, takes it in 14 yards out. Conversion is good. Arizona over Oakland. First quarter, 7-0. Now let's rejoin Keith Jackson.
With 4:23 to go in the first quarter, Fred Bohannon is on the sidelines. The medical staff working with his left leg. It is first down for the New Jersey Generals. The ball is on the Birmingham 12. No score in the football game. And Herschel Walker is the I-back. The deep man out of the I formation with Carthen in front of him. And Birmingham trying to blitz on it. They do successfully, and they get Walker behind the line of scrimmage. David Evans, who was injured earlier, hurt a hand back in the ball game, number 26, and he came firing through and got him.
What the defensive line was doing that time was just filling the gaps and hoping that the linebackers and what we're going to call the rover back, Evans, playing loose in that secondary, could come in, fill the gaps, and make the tackle. That time the blitz, I think, caught them off guard and was successful.
Ball is just inside the 15, where it is second down and 13 for a first down on the Birmingham end of the field. Collins in motion, Sipe back to throw it. He's looking for Bowers. He throws it short to Carthen. He's inside the 5 and down at the 3. He's about a yard short of a first down. Dennis Woodbury came in to make the tackle. He is a rookie from Southern Arkansas.
Well, Brian Sipe is on the field calling all the plays, and as we look at the score, Jacksonville Bulls, ahead of the Washington Federals by 2, have surmised very quickly that the Birmingham defense is going to give him some form of man-to-man coverage on each passing down. Man-to-man on the linebacker, with the linebacker on the halfback, or man-to-man on one of his receivers. So he will take that apart very quickly.
On third down at about a yard and a half, you've got a double tight end alignment. Bowers and Speck both in the ball game. Walker and Carthen are the setbacks. And Walker has the football, gets the first down. They nail him just short of the goal line. So a good hole over the left side. Kent Hull and Dave Lapham opening the hole. Dave Lapham, of course, coming over from Cincinnati after 10 years with the Bengals.
Well, that big offensive line of the New Jersey Generals didn't have a lot of experience, but 64 Wayne Harris, 76 Brian Millard, and the center Kent Hull, number 58, have gained a great deal of experience, and they just block straight ahead. The big men, nothing fancy, letting Herschel Walker use his speed and his leg strength to drive behind them to pick up the first down.
First and goal for New Jersey on the Birmingham 1. Walker. No, Carthen. The Generals beg it. The officials won't give it to them. Now they do. Touchdown, New Jersey. At the bottom of the pile, Carthen had rooted his way across, and the New Jersey Generals score first.
The New Jersey Generals scored first in their last meeting before the Birmingham Stallions took over the rest of the ball game, showing their ability to drive the length of the field, eat up the clock. I think we're now going to have to see Cliff Stoudt open up the offense of the Birmingham Stallions.
Roger Ruzek out of Weber State is the place kicker for the New Jersey Generals. It is up, and it is good out of the hold of Gary Barbaro. So the New Jersey Generals, here in the first quarter of play, in their second possession, stick it in the end zone to lead 7-0. The boss man of the New Jersey Generals on hand. We'll visit with him at halftime, as well as the owner of the Birmingham Stallions, Marvin Wooner. 9 plays, 52 yards for the touchdown for the Generals to go ahead 7-0. And the Birmingham Stallions now will send Lonnie Johnson, number 33. He's out of Indiana. And Earl Gant, number 23, out of Missouri, the deep people. Earl Gant was with the Stallions a year ago and played very well. Ruzek will kick it off into the wind. The wind is not a pronounced factor, but there is enough of it to knock a kick down. Very, very short, fumbled, and the ball is loose, and New Jersey covers it. Dallas Hickman looks like the man that covered the football, and now they say Birmingham has it. Hickman, number 57, came in from the backside and stole the football. The New Jersey man had it.
He certainly did have to steal that football. I could only see one red jersey, and maybe it was Hickman, surrounded by white jerseys as the ball just started rolling towards the sideline. One of those fluke kicks, which could have been a great turnover for the New Jersey Generals, but the Birmingham Stallions saved it.
I don't know how in the world Hickman got it. But now Birmingham will go to work from the 45 after a moment of good fortune. And Stoudt puts it in the air. Joey Jones, sideline pattern at the 49 of New Jersey. Joey Jones was the MVP in the East-West Shrine game. He's not the biggest guy in town at 5'8", 165. But like the people at Alabama used to say, Joey doesn't know that he may not be big enough to play this game. He just simply goes out and beats you.
Well, after his great performances in the bowl games, he was upgraded by NFL scouts to a second-round draft choice, but said he'd rather play in Alabama.
Pick up for 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5, Birmingham. New Jersey leading 7-0. First quarter, Stoudt gives it to Joe Cribbs. And Cribbs, who elicits the cries of War Eagle every time he appears. And he picked up about 3. Here's the moment of good fortune. The ball ricochets off Hickman now because Dallas looked up and he said, my gosh, I can't catch that thing. Now the ball is rolling around. It looks like it's all New Jersey, and somehow Hickman got underneath the crowd and stole the ball.
Hickman, in case you missed him, was that helmet you saw for about 1/10 of a second in that pileup.
It is third down and 2 as the first quarter comes to a close. And we're having a little trouble with the time because the clocks are not working here at Legion Field. So after one period of play in the opening game for the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions, the Generals lead by a score of 7-0. The wind is blowing from right to left. That's Herschel Walker, and he has not been in on every play because he's had trouble with a shoulder that was hurt a year ago. And a year ago with the New Jersey Generals, the quarterbacks played half the time flat of their back, and Herschel half the time running for his life or doing it one-on-one. But I think it's already noticeable how much the offensive front has improved for New Jersey as they lead in the football game by a score of 7-0. We'll be back for the second quarter in just a moment. I think the first quarter stats define what's happened so far. It's been all New Jersey.
All New Jersey. They have had the ball on 2 possessions, and nothing spectacular except for the fact that rushing yards and passing yards are equal. And Brian Sipe and Walt Michaels would love to keep it that way for the rest of the ball game.
Now for Birmingham. First play of the second quarter, 3rd down and 2. The ball is just outside the 46 of New Jersey. And Cliff Stoudt gives the ball to Joe Cribbs, and Cribbs dives for the marker, and he's close. He's just over the 45. He might find himself a foot short. Bob Leopold, who came over from the San Francisco 49ers to New Jersey, outside linebacker, made the tackle.
Well, the first down marker is placed just in front of the 44-yard line, and he looks like he just might be a few inches short. We'll find out. Nope. He's a ball length ahead.
It took away an interesting moment as to whether or not Raleigh Dutch might have decided to go on 4th and short, but he doesn't have to. Near the 44 of New Jersey, it is a first down. Stoudt back on first down to throw. Swings it to the sidelines for Cribbs. The pass is thrown behind him and incomplete. Mike Barry is with us on the sidelines. Here's Mike with Herschel Walker.
Keith, thank you very much. Herschel, you did not start the ball game. You've seen some action. How do you feel? How are those bruised shoulders?
Well, they're working out real well right now. I've taken some shots on them, and they're sore. And at least I can't tell until about the 3rd and 4th quarter. I think that's when then I'll be able to tell better.
Do you think the coaches and the team doctor are being overly cautious with you?
Well, I think they're just being careful with me because they know that there's 18 games in the season. They know there's 17 after this year, and they want me to be healthy to be able to finish those on out.
Thank you, Herschel. Back to you, Keith.
On 2nd down and 10, set up a screen for Joe Cribbs, works his way through the traffic, fumbles the football, picked up on the bounce by Gregory Johnson, number 27. And there's your first turnover of the football game. Joe Cribbs in his second effort working his way through traffic as he broke away from the screen because the screen had no place to go. And the ball was knocked loose from him and banged right up into the hands of Gregory Johnson.
Most of these quick screens are designed for the running back or the receiver to be able to cut back against the floor and get help. Here he was looking for the hole, grabbed around the ankles, then the ball just knocked away and picked up by Johnson.
Looked like Bob Leopold was probably the man that knocked it loose, and New Jersey's in business just short of the 45, first down. They lead 7-0, second quarter of play. Carthen is the man lined up in the backfield. Walker goes in motion, and Brian Sipe's pass down the middle for Bowers is complete at the 30, the 29 of Birmingham. Woodbury the tackle.
Brian Sipe left Cleveland, left a good tight end, and has found another one. Again, realizing there's going to be some loose coverage in that secondary, looking for the man-to-man coverage. This was just a simple zone pass where he allowed Bowers to come in, bend to the outside, and work his way into the open zone. Right between two defenders, he goes up in the air and makes a good professional catch.
Big Sam has caught 2 for 49 yards, so the ex-Fordham Ram is having a big day. First down, New Jersey at the Birmingham 29. Ball given to Maurice Carthen. A couple of yards to about the 27. Walt Michaels, quiet man, walking through the ranks of his players. They all like him.
He's an intense coach. He thinks football, he sleeps football. But he knows how to work with people.
Tom McConaughey comes to the bottom of the picture, number 86, the surest hands on the field for New Jersey among the receivers. And Clarence Collins goes in motion, and the ball is loose. As Sipe did not come away from the snap cleanly, but Brian covers it.
Number 98, Jackie Klein, came in. He said, "Oh boy, look what I have, a quarterback." He didn't realize that Brian Sipe did not have the football. He missed a golden opportunity to pick up a fumble recovery.
Loss is back to the 29, so it is 3rd down and 10 as Clarence Harmon comes into the backfield for New Jersey now, joining Carthen. They've got Don Calhoun, who had 8 years of NFL experience, waiting on the bench to get a call. This time they send McConaughey to the top of the picture and Collins to the bottom. Harmon goes in motion. Penalty flag is thrown in the air, and whistle stop it. The back judge threw his flag and blew the whistle. New Jersey leading 7-0 and threatening to put some more.
There'll be no penalty. This 30-second clock is inoperative. Quarterback could not see the clock. No foul on the play. Third down.
I think they've checked everything but the clocks.
Well, with all the technological advances and the complications of putting it all together, you can be assured usually it's the first thing to go.
Good crowd at Legion Field. Count figures to be in excess of 50, maybe close to 60. And it's third down and 10 for New Jersey. Harmon in motion as Sipe drops. Gets it off down the middle for Bowers, the tight end, and a great defensive play by Chuck Clinton, a rookie out of Auburn.
An excellent defensive play by Chuck Clayton. He had Big Sam Bowers coming across the middle of the field. Behind him, all he needed was just a little more distance on this ball, and look at him go up in the air. Excellent timing. They say most defensive backs, the reason why they're there is because they don't have the great hands, and sometimes their timing is a little suspect. That time, not Clayton.
Roger Ruzek with a 46-yard field goal try. It is picked up by Barbaro. I guess he didn't have it cleanly, and Gary Barbaro tries to run it downfield. He does a little bit. Gets it inside the 25, but Birmingham will take over the football. So Barbaro couldn't get it down cleanly for Ruzek's kick. Gary picked it up and tried to make something out of it, and he couldn't get enough.
Well, that's a big break for the Birmingham Stallions. It gives them a little momentum. Keeps New Jersey from putting additional points on the board. I don't think he had a bad snap. I think he just picked it up, and it was a design fake. He's looking for a receiver downfield. Now watch him as he gets the snap. He has it for, puts it down, just picks it up. Now he's looking for someone to throw to. A big chance, and it didn't work. Let's see if the Birmingham Stallions can now turn it around in their favor as they trail by 7.
They're playing in the second quarter out of Tempe, Arizona. Arizona was leading. However, at the end of the first quarter, is Fred Bacina back for Oakland. Looking into the end zone, he finds Ron Smith. Touchdown conversion good. It's all tied up. They are right now in the second quarter. Let's return now to Keith and Lynn in Birmingham.
Birmingham takes over the football. First down, just short of their 25. Freddie Gilbert is out for New Jersey. Lynn Madsen is in for the Generals defensively. Joe Cribbs is the I-back. Stoudt gives it to Cribbs. Hole over the left side from Little Joe. And he cracks it across the 35 to the 36 and picks up a first down. Mike Williams brought him down. Joe Cribbs, 5'11", 195.
Good looking play that time on the part of the Birmingham Stallions. Offensive line did a great job. He had blocking downfield, but the linebackers were just moving back off the line. Really probably expecting pass, backing up, giving ground. Joe Cribbs with his speed and acceleration takes advantage of it. You see Jim Smith right there almost getting his knees trapped in the tackle.
Joe now has 25 yards on 5 carries. He's been the primary offense so far for the Stallions. On first down from the 36, they hand it off inside to Ken Talton for his first carry of the day. And Talton, a 195-pounder out of Cornell, spent a year with Kansas City, a year with New England, and was here last year. And he moved the football just over the 39. It'll be second down and 7. Mark Battaglia has moved up into the right guard position now for Birmingham. He plays right guard and center for the Stallions. Mark is out of Penn State. Staying with the running game, Cribbs carries just to about the 41. It was Chuck Clanton who made a big play a moment ago, and Mike Berry is with him.
Keith, it would certainly be a hero time. I've never seen a guy stretch so far. Tell me about the big play.
Well, we were playing deep third, and he came into my zone, and luckily I was there to knock the pass down.
You know you could stretch that far?
No, I didn't.
You're right back in the ballgame, trailing by a touchdown.
Yes, sir.
All right, Keith, back to you.
Enjoyed Chuck's playing days at Auburn. He was a fine player for the Tigers. From the 41, it is third down and about 5. Cliff Stoudt gets his pass off down intended and incomplete, intended for 86, Jim Smith. And Jimmy was really well covered by number 22, Jesse Johnson.
He was extremely well covered, but Cliff Stoudt has a great deal of confidence in Jim Smith. I talked to them both early, and he said, hey, Cliff, if you want it, just throw it to me, but make sure if I'm covered well, throw it a little high. That time he gave Jim a chance to go up for the ball with the least amount of chance of an interception to try and make the big play.
Skip Johnson will punt. Birmingham. Mike Williams, deep. Wynn's going to hold it up short. It's Williams from the 21. And ridden out of bounds short of the 30 at the 29. Lonnie Johnson, the first man down to make a hit for Birmingham. 7-0 New Jersey, as we've got a penalty flag on the field with 9:12 to go in the first half. 38 yards on the punt.
You see Jimmy Smith there with the gloves. He's just grown accustomed to wearing those. Those are scuba gloves. And they seem to give Jimmy just a better grip on the ball. Feels a little bit more confident with them on.
Penalty definition from the referee, Bill Parkinson. Face mask called against New Jersey.
Face mask on the general.
That will just leave New Jersey with not as great field position as we watch the replay. Now watch Evans right there on the bottom of the frame. And that's where the face mask occurred. Can't really see it that well, but we'll be back in just a moment to see if the New Jersey Generals mount another drive.
One of the 6 expansion teams jumping out to a big lead in the first quarter. Jacksonville Bulls over the Washington Federals 16-0. The New Orleans Breakers leading 7-0 over the San Antonio Gunslingers, San Antonio being an expansion team. The Breakers, of course, having played in Boston a year ago. Fred Bohannon is out on the field, so he's had the leg wrapped. And we'll have to wait and see whether or not Fred is playing with a sore leg, and he's gimpy. Houston jumps to a 7-0 lead over Tampa Bay. So here comes New Jersey now. First down from their own 23. Brian Sipe gives the ball to Herschel Walker, and Walker is caught behind the line of scrimmage by Dave Purifoy, the veteran out of Eastern Michigan. He had 5 years at Detroit, 6 years at Green Bay.
Well, that time the defensive plan worked very well. Dave Purifoy able to get penetration into the backfield, cutting off the running lane of Herschel Walker. Herschel, you see him at the upper part of the screen. Herschel tries to bounce it to the outside, but Dave Purifoy is right there to make the stop, and a little help from his friends. Fred Bohannon, number 41, and Dan Gooch, number 52.
A loss of 2 yards, second down and 12, back at the 21. Sipe on second down to throw it, looking down the middle, goes down the middle. The pass caught by Collins, and Collins is caught short of the first down, up around the 32. Chuck Clanton, number 24, getting over to make the tackle.
That was a very well executed play by the Generals. He also had Herschel Walker swinging to the outside on a little flare pass, who was wide open. He could have dumped the ball off to Herschel, put him one-on-one against the linebacker. What it did do was allow enough time for Collins to drift in behind the linebacker coverage, get open downfield, and Brian Sipe picked him up.
It is third and a short yard. Double tight end. Bowers joined by Jeff Speck with Carthen lined up in the backfield with Walker. And the ball is given to Carthen, and Carthen has a first down for New Jersey out at the 36. Ball is just over the 36, where it is a first down. New Jersey leading 7-0. Second quarter of play. Side back to throw on the first down. Gets it off. And the pass is complete to McConaughey, brought down by Ricky Ray. Pretty good coverage by Ray, but McConaughey is one of those young people who can just simply go in there and come away with the football. But there is a flag against New Jersey.
And the preliminary call is holding against New Jersey. Brian Sipe is under just a little bit of pressure here, but he was running. He had a pass pattern call that didn't take a lot of time. Just a little curl with the receiver coming back to the ball. Now that's number 26, Evans, coming in, and number 57, Hickman, Dallas Hickman, that came in and put the hit on Brian Sipe. Evans, of course, being the Roverback, the 5th defensive back, who is in the ball game at all times, not just for pass coverage. Birmingham Stallions playing a 5 defensive back formation against the New Jersey Generals.
Brian Millard, the big fella from Texas, got caught holding somebody by the coattail, and that backs him up to about the 27. 10-yard penalty, first down and 20. Birmingham corners now drop off as Sipe sets up the throw, and the pass is overthrown, intended for Collins. And it may be just as well because Bohannon was all over Collins.
Bohannon was over Collins again. Number 26, David Evans, out of Arkansas, was in, putting pressure. Central Arkansas putting pressure on Brian Sipe. This defense has played well so far. They've given up ground, but so far only 1 touchdown after the New Jersey Generals had the ball in great field position.
Second down and 20. Sipe goes down the middle with it. Passes is intercepted. Picked off by Dennis Woodbury. And Woodbury back to the New Jersey 26-yard line. Pass intended for McConaughey. Sailed over his hands and into the arms of Woodbury.
Woodbury, the young rookie, accepts Brian Sipe's gift gladly as he overthrows Tom McConaughey. He had other receivers open on the sideline. He elected to go deep. Right there, he's trying to look off receivers. He goes deep. This ball is just thrown too high. It's tipped, actually, off McConaughey's fingers. And Woodbury, a very heads-up play. Very often you don't see a rookie who puts himself in the proper position to take advantage of a situation like this, reading a deflected pass, picking it off, and then he does a good job of looking for blockers, picking them up downfield, and picking up all the yards. Doesn't run out of bounds like some defensive backs I've seen.
I thought that was impressive, though, the way the Birmingham defensive people made the transition. They turned into blockers in a hurry, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
First down for Cliff Stoudt now. The football is at the 26 of New Jersey. Big opportunity for the Stallions. They trail 7-0 to New Jersey, and Stoudt back to throw it. He gets it off to the sidelines to Darrell Mason, the tight end out of Arkansas. And he is out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Here's Mike Barry now with Mr. Woodbury.
Since you looked at Brian Sipe, how did you read him? What was the key to picking that one off?
Well, we was in 3 covers, and I just broke on the ball, and man came into my zone. I just broke on the football.
You got a tight grasp on that football. You're not going to give it up.
I just really excited about getting that interception.
All right, Dennis. Up to you, Keith.
Put that one on the mantle. It is second down and 3 for Birmingham at the New Jersey 19. Joe Cribbs with the ball and slashes it back over the left side, and looks like Joe might be just a little bit short of his first down.
There is such excitement, Keith, for a professional football player when he gets his first touchdown, his first interception, the first fumble recovery. You throw your first touchdown. It's a prized possession. You can look back. You'll never have another day like it. It's number 1.
Yeah, I can understand that. Joey Jones comes off the field now as Birmingham on 3rd down and a yard sends in Robin Earl at tight end. So it's a double tight end alignment. Ken Carlton and Joe Cribbs. And it's Carlton for the first down as he hammers it inside the 15. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the first half. 7-0 New Jersey leading. This is Birmingham's biggest threat of the ball game. First down at the Generals 14, coming as a result of Dennis Woodbury's first pass interception. Jim Smith, number 86, is the wide man at the top of your picture. Joey Jones is flanked outside and off the screen right now. Generals trying to set up a blitz on the play, and the left tackle, Robert Woods of Birmingham, moves on the play. And he's a 10-year pro veteran. He ought not to be jumping on the snap.
Number 72 on the offense.
He ought not to be able, he ought not to jump, Keith, but He gave it away. It was a running place. Now look at the linebackers. They're setting up. That's Jim LeClaire out of Cincinnati, just faking the blitz a little bit. You don't know. He probably was coming the way he leaned in there, but Robert Woods didn't give him a chance by jumping off sides.
So the penalty backs him up to the 19, where it's first down and 15. Back to throw it. He has a man, Joe Cribbs. Cribbs makes the catch, takes a heavy hit from Leopold, hangs on at the 13. I mean, he took a lick when he caught that ball.
He took a lick. Cliff Stoudt was expecting a blitz. He saw the strong safety creeping up, pointed him out, make sure someone pick him up. Number 20, Joe Cribbs. Watch him come out of the backfield. Just a little short route designed to be caught under the coverage. And right there, he takes a good hit from number 53, Bob Leopold. But Joe Cribbs, out of Auburn, coming here from the Buffalo Bills, has seen it all. He can take the hits.
It is now second down and 9 from the 13. The New Jersey 13. And Stoudt gives to Talton, and Talton slashes inside the 10, close to the 9.
Talton was the leading ground gainer for the Birmingham Stallions last year with over 900 yards. And you've got two very good running backs in the backfield at the same time. But you're allowed to do that when you have a trapping team because neither one will have to sustain the blocks for very long. Quick blocking up front, the timing of the traps.
Ron Frederick comes in to give him 4 wide people now. And up to set up with 3 as they keep Mason inside. So Cribbs, the lone remaining back, on third down at about 5. And Stoudt wants to throw. Gets it into the end zone and overthrows Joey Jones. Jones was running away from Mike Williams, had a step on him, but the linebacker had dropped in the middle, and Stoudt couldn't get the ball to him.
New Jersey Generals did a very good job. Mike Williams was testing Jones early in the ball game. He was pushing, shoving, trying to intimidate the little guy. Now right here, he's covering a different receiver, sees Jones coming across, but the ball is too high. No one can make the catch.
Scott Norwood is in for the extra point try. Had 109 total points a year ago. Kicked 5 field goals against New Jersey. This will be a 26-yarder. The holder is Bob Lane, the backup quarterback. So Norwood out of James Madison trying for his first points of the second season of the USFL. He's got it up and inside the uprights for 3. At 3:20 to go in the first half of play, the Stallions get on the scoreboard. It is now New Jersey 7 and Birmingham 3. Those are the 4 games scheduled for next Sunday in the USFL. We will announce early next week which 2 of the 4 games will be presented here on ABC. Scott Norwood getting ready to kick into the wind, and it's a wind upwards of 20 miles an hour at times. The deep people are Rod Pegues, 30, Marcus Hackett, 84 for New Jersey. A 7-3 New Jersey lead right now as Birmingham gets a 26-yard field goal from Scott Norwood, and it hangs over there for Hackett. And Marcus Hackett turned upside down at the 25. So with 3 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the first half, New Jersey leads by 4. They've got the ball, and there's a timeout. The rushing totals on the 2 name running backs in this ball game, Joe Cribbs, 29, and Herschel Walker, 18. Though in Walker's case, he hasn't played all that much. His first 3 carries, he had 21 yards, and his last 4, he has lost 3.
That's Gary Barbaro, the defensive safety for the New Jersey Generals, all-pro from the Kansas City Chiefs. And with him on the field, it's like having a coach in that secondary. So Cliff Stoudt would have to keep his eye on him. Right now, it's the New Jersey Generals on offense.
And Collins goes in motion. Walker out of the backfield, wiggles around and picks up maybe 3 yards up to about the 27. Jimmy Walker brought him down. 3-year veteran out of Arkansas.
Number 98, Jackie Klein, was able to get into the backfield and change the course of Herschel Walker, forcing him back into the middle of the line as we see the Philadelphia Stars and the Memphis Showboats.
That's a little bit of a surprise. Nothing ball game.
Philadelphia, we expected to have more points by now.
Oakland, Arizona even in the second quarter. And look at Jacksonville jumping on Washington, 22-0. Well, it's second down, make it 8. Second and 8. And Sipe gives it to Walker, and Walker takes a whack as he reaches the 28 and stops. He ran into Dan Gooch, a rookie from Moorhead State. Right now, Mike Barry visits with Cliff Stoudt.
Cliff, on that last drive, you had to settle for 3 points. What were they doing to you defensively?
Well, down there, we hoped to get a little slant in, but they just played everybody. Our 2 wideouts zoned them and pressed our tight end. We couldn't get anything, and rather than get sacked or risk an interception, just got to put the ball up in the seats and, take the 3. Now we're back in the ball game. We got to score. Maybe that'll help us, next time we get the ball.
All right, Cliff, thank you very much. Keith, back to you.
Cliff, 4 out of 8 so far in the ball game. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to play in the first half. New Jersey leading it 7-3. With 2 minutes to go in the first half, it's 3rd down and 5 for the New Jersey Generals. The football is just beyond the 29. Reasonably conservative play in the first half by both teams. Herschel Walker and Clarence Harmon are the setbacks behind Brian Sipe. For Sipe, who, oh my goodness, Clarence Collins was wide open. He was so open, he was lonesome, and he let the ball go right through his hands.
He had at least the first down, and with one good move, he could have been free, running down the center of the field, with people angling in on him from the sideline, but with his speed, he might have made it all the way. That's just poor concentration on his part. Maybe feeling a little bit of the jitters in this first ball game.
Tim Cutts is in for the punt. First one was 35 yards. He gets a chance to hit this one with the wind at his back. Ron Frederick is the deep man for Birmingham. Cutts is a rookie out of Mississippi State. Waited for Emery Ballard. No pressure on him. Didn't get all of it. Frederick comes up, makes the reception at the 35, and comes all the way back to the 49 before they bring him down. A 14-yard return after a 35-yard punt. With 1:45 to go in the first half, still time for Birmingham.
Now with this good return that brings them up to midfield, Birmingham is looking at an excellent opportunity to get right back in this ball game. Of course, they can go ahead with a touchdown. With just a field goal, they're 1 point behind. We'll be right back to see what the Birmingham Stallions do with the football.
7-3 ball game, minute 45 to play in the first half. They're working into the wind. Stout 4 out of 8. 2 passes were dropped. Joey Jones has not seen the ball as yet. One pass was thrown in his direction, but it was way over his head. Had no real chance to get to it.
With this kind of speed, I think he could be the primary target.
But I'm sorry, you did catch one, didn't you, for 6 yards? A little short one early. Stout's pass throws a bullet, and it's intercepted. It is picked off by Gary Barbaro. Caught it like a wide receiver on the sideline. Looked like the ball might have sailed some as Stoudt threw it into the wind.
Well, he threw it into wind. Jimmy Smith was the intended receiver. He hadn't turned around to see where the ball was. Barbaro, the experience of the National Football League, sees the quarterback, plays the ball, not the receiver, and he's in position to make the catch.
And New Jersey now will get another chance.
We'll take a look. He's eyeing Jim Smith all the way. That gives Barbaro a chance to jump on the ball. You see, Jim does not know where the football is. Jim could have knocked that one down, or at least dove for the ball. He got one hand on it had he known where the ball was.
First down, New Jersey, their own 32-yard line. Herschel Walker goes in motion. Sipe back to throw. No pressure on him. Passes away to Walker. Walker gets away from Bohannon and gets a first down for the Generals up around the 43. Dennis Woodbury finally knocked him out of bounds.
Taking a look at the way Fred Bohannon tried to go over and tackle Herschel Walker, I don't think he really wanted to put his head in on that one. Herschel Walker is not the kind of ball player you can just run up to, throw an arm out, try to reach for the cloth, and pull him down. We saw Luther Bradley for Chicago Blitz last year meet Herschel Walker head on. Herschel Walker gave him a straight arm and put him right down on his rear end.
And went on and scored. So it's first down, New Jersey, from the 43. Sipe working in the air with a minute and a half to go. Sideline pass, good to McConaughey. McConaughey is knocked out of bounds by Woodbury. And it's another first down for New Jersey at the Birmingham 39. This is typical Sipe. He's very good at the 2-minute offense.
Very good, and he's got a good receiver, a technical receiver in McConaughey. He doesn't do anything difficult, drives the man off, turns around, and right there on the sideline, making sure he has both feet in. He is a kind of receiver you have to have in a drive of this nature. A man who can get you the first down, get you the tough yards on the sideline when he knows he's going to take a hit.
New Jersey now with 9 first downs in this first half. From the 39, Sipe drops, no pressure on him, passes away. Collins can't come up with it. It is incomplete.
A low pass that time. Sipe feeling some of the pressure, had to get the ball away very quickly.
Barbaro working on the hold just in case they have a field goal opportunity for Ruzek.
Unlike the National Football League, of course, the USFL can use a kicking team.
Yep.
And it takes a little practice, a little time to be able to take that snap and get it down on that tee instead of just using the turf.
From the 39, second down and 10. Sipe gives the ball off to Carthen. Carthen on a draw. And he's inside the 35 to the 34 for a 5-yard pickup, and New Jersey spins a timeout. That stops the clock with 1:15 to go in the first half.
That's if the clock is correct.
Yeah, it's correct.
And we don't know if it is at this time, but they tell us it is good.
We'll be talking with Donald Trump, owner of the New Jersey Generals, and Marvin Warner, owner of the Birmingham Stallions franchise. We'll check in with scores and highlights of other games. And the biggest surprise, I think, so far, this opening day of the USFL, is Jacksonville jumping out in front of Washington by a score of 22-0.
Well, one of the old sages of the National Football League said, when you add expansion teams, you always add them at the bottom. Well, sometimes those teams that come in new can play very, very well. The Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did very well in their first few years in the National Football League, and Jacksonville might be one of those teams.
Mike Barbaro now with Mike Berry.
All right, Keith. Hey, you're no stranger to Cliff Stoudt. You picked that one off. It looked like he kind of hung it up on you.
Well, he threw into a zone coverage. We had our nickel secondary in there, and he just threw it into the zone coverage. It was just there to catch.
Gary, you've got this rebuilt defense here with the Generals. What is the mood? What is the attitude among you guys?
It's a good feeling. We have a good blend of youth and the experienced NFL players that came over, and it's just a good combination of the two.
Well, you're the interception king. You're picking up right where you left off in the NFL. Keith?
All right, Gary Barbaro, who's doing double duty for the New Jersey Generals. The Generals have 2 timeouts remaining. Birmingham, all 3 remaining. But time, of course, is on the side of the Generals. 1:15 to go in the first half. They're looking at 3rd down and 5 from the 34 of Birmingham.
Gary Barbaro came into Birmingham last night, walked into the hotel under one arm, a canister of film, the other arm a projector. He was getting prepared, ready for this ball game.
Collins goes in motion. And Sipe drops, passes away, passes incomplete, intended for Clarence Harmon. Looked like he hit Clarence right in the face. As you look back into the sun, and bang, the ball was there. So that brings up a 4th down. Ruzek gets the call here. It'll be 51 yards, and he is going to get the call. During his collegiate career in 1AA competition, his longest was 51 yards, and he kicked it 3 times successfully from that distance. He is out of Weber State. He has the wind at his back. So Gary Barbaro will try to get this one down cleanly for him. Kick is up. It is good. 51 yards for Roger Ruzek. And New Jersey goes out to a 10-3 lead.
The big difference, of course, with the interception by Gary Barbaro stopping the drive. As we look at his reaction, he knows it's straight, and he's happy it's long enough.
That's another one that'll want to take a football home with it.
Absolutely. Last year, kicking was a big problem for the New Jersey Generals. They couldn't guarantee extra points after they scored touchdowns. And we talked to their PR director last night, and he told us about the improved kicking. I had to look at him and say it wouldn't take much to improve that kicking from last year. Certainly with the ability to kick 51-yard field goals, they might be in more of those ball games they just missed last year.
Dave Jacobs had a 51-yarder in the first season for the New Jersey Generals. But right now, Ruzek, with the wind at his back, will kick it off Lonnie Johnson and Fred Bohannon are the deep people. For Birmingham. A good high kick. And Johnson from the 1. Penalty flag goes down as Johnson is dropped up around the 22. It's on Birmingham. And it's illegal use of hands.
When he dropped that flag, he was looking at Herb Spencer, number 55, playing linebacker for the Birmingham Stallions.
Illegal block, above the waist from behind, number 75 on the return team, first down.
So with 59 seconds to go on the clock in this first half, the Stallions have the football at their own 12. Stout gives to Joe Cribbs. Cribbs cut back, couldn't sweep. He wanted to go outside. He cuts it back, gets it up for 3 to the 15. Here's the young man that just kicked the 51-yarder, Roger Ruzek with Mike Berry.
51-yarder, not a bad way to start your pro career.
Yeah, I was very pleased. I had just enough on it to get it through.
Was the wind at your back or is it swirling? Scott Norwood told me on the other side it was swirling going the other way.
It is. It keeps changing. Every time you get out there to hit the ball, it's changing. You know, sometimes it's coming across wind and sometimes it's coming back and forth. But I was very fortunate. A good field goal. I was very happy with it.
You're up 10-3. Very good. Keith, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. New Jersey spends a timeout here. They have 1 remaining with 50 seconds to go. Coming into the lineup now for Birmingham is Earl Gant, number 23. Earl has not been in the backfield prior to this. Joe Cribbs will now come out. So that's a bit of an interesting change for the Birmingham Stallions. Earl Gant, a big fella, 215, 6'1", in the lineup with Ken Talton. So maybe they're looking for more blocking, and if they decide to put it up, if they are throwing the football into about 15, 20 mile an hour swirling wind as it comes inside Legion Field. Second down and 7. And Stout coming on a roll. He is not a timid fellow. He is not timid at all about calling his own number. In fact, when he was with the Steelers, he was one of the top running quarterbacks in the league.
Well, in 1983, Cliff Stoudt was the leading rusher among the quarterbacks. And at times when the offensive line wasn't doing its job for him, he didn't have much of a choice. So in 1983, he got a lot of experience. At that time, it was a design play, a little bootleg. He had all the blocking in front of him. A good play call.
And it's a first down for Birmingham out to their 29 with Cribbs coming back in now and Gant coming out. So Earl went in as a blocking back, and it worked. Now getting some pressure. Little short lob over the middle to Talton. Kenny pulls it down at the 36.
Well, the pocket was collapsing all around Cliff Stoudt. He just stepped up into the pocket, gained a little more time to find Coughlin. Hit him on a short pass.
No huddle offense, second down and 4. Pass is a poor choice. He was trying to drill it between 2 defenders to Joey Jones, and he's lucky to get it back.
Well, number 29, Mike Williams, made the play. Well, I have to give a little bit of the fault on that one to number 4, Joey Jones. When the receiver runs a hook pattern, you can't stand there and wait for the football. You have to come back to it. That time, Jones turned around on the pattern, stood there, while the cornerback, Mike Williams, got a running start, came in front of him, and knocked the ball down.
Come back to the ball.
One of the basic rules for a wide receiver.
Stoudt gets away. Going for the sidelines, gets a first down. Out of bounds up around the 47 with 11 seconds to play in the first half. Penalty flag on the field. Might have had a little late hit on the sidelines. Johnson was after him, and Johnson may have hit him. Out of bounds. Did.
Little Joey Jones is out there trying to do what he could. Had number 29, Mike Williams, in front of him, trying to stand him off, give Cliff Stoudt a little more room to run. He gets the yardage and another 15 yards.
They're not within field goal range, I don't think, though. In fact, I'm sure they're not, unless the wind turns around.
Personal foul. They hit out of bounds. Number 22 on the defense. First down.
Jesse Johnson will take a look right there. He has him by the neck. Just gives him an extra little push.
Scott Norwood is the place kicker for Birmingham. His longest last year was 50. So they're still well outside of his range, especially with this wind circumstance. But it is a first down, and the ball is at the 38. As Stoudt goes back to throw, has a lot of time, gets his pass away to Jones at the 21. 5 seconds to play in the first half. Now, you make it Norwood. Birmingham takes a timeout to think about it and talk about it. With only 5 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, Cliff Stoudt did not give up on little Joy Jones. He came back to him on the next play. Joy Jones running a very simple route with the defense of the Generals playing a zone. Just curled in. He finds the seam in between the linebackers. Here it's a good catch. He knows he's going to get hit. He protects the ball. Doesn't worry about himself. He picks up the first down. More importantly, puts the ball at the 21-yard line, so they're now in field goal range.
And Norwood is on the field. It'll be a 38-yard field goal try. New Jersey leading by a score of 10-3. They're trying to cut it down to 4 points at halftime. From this distance a year ago, Norwood was 9 out of 10 between 30 and 39. Bob Lane is the holder. He is the backup quarterback. So they're good hands back to handle the football. And as Swanee said a little while ago, they do kick off a tee, 1-inch tee, in the USFL.
And if they decide one of those little trick plays, where they're going to pass the ball, you might as well have Bobby Lane in there to do it.
Right. High snap. Lane gets it down. Norwood's kick is no good. Slid off to the right, and the first half is over. So, the New Jersey Generals at halftime lead the Birmingham Stallions 10-3. Back with the halftime activities after this message and a word from our local station.
Frank Gifford reporting from New York on this first day of USFL action, the second season, and the game you're watching. If you happen to be watching New Jersey and Birmingham, well, the moment, the score at halftime, it's New Jersey 10, Birmingham 3. And let's take a look at the only touchdown that we saw in that game in the first half. It is Maurice Carthen carrying it in for the Generals to make it 7-0. And, of course, New Jersey went on with a 51-yard Roger Ruzak field goal to make it 10-3. Using Herschel Walker very lightly down there. He has sore shoulders. And meanwhile, out in Tempe, Arizona and Oakland are playing a back-and-forth football game out there. Let's take a look at the action there. Arizona getting on the scoreboard first. Greg Landry tosses to Kevin Long, and the former Jet moves down the sideline, 14 yards, and Arizona out on top 7-0. And, of course, that's the way head coach George Allen likes it. However, the celebration was short-lived. A high snap to Frank Corral of Arizona, who was trying to get a punt off. Turned the ball over to Oakland and Fred Bassana. 3 plays later. Into the end zone, he finds Ron Smith. 5-yard touchdown. That tied it up at 7. Greg Landry has done it for Detroit. He's done it for Baltimore. He's now doing it for Arizona. This right before the half. Firing over the middle. Finds Wayman Buggs. And a little speedster kicks into the end zone, and Arizona is out on top 14-7. And again, that score at halftime. Pittsburgh and Oklahoma are playing today. And, of course, this is a celebrated debut of Heisman Award winner Mike Rozier. However, not much action out there, only a field goal, as it is Pittsburgh over Oklahoma 3-0. This is Mickey Barella, 32 yards out. Again, Pittsburgh 3, Oklahoma 0. For Rozier, he has carried the ball 14 times. He has 32 yards. And Doug Williams, who is the offensive quarterback for Oklahoma from Tampa Bay, 5 of 12, 26 yards. Let's take a look at some other scores. Philadelphia and Memphis, they're tied at 3. They're in the second quarter. That second quarter just winding down. Jacksonville is really putting it to Washington. They now lead 29-0. Matt Robinson has thrown 2 touchdown passes. One, a 74-yard pass to Audrey Matthews, and Larry Mason has carried it in on the ground twice today for Jacksonville. And Tampa Bay now has a 14-7 lead over Houston. Jim Kelly had a 9-yard touchdown pass there to Ricky Sanders. And San Antonio leads New Orleans 10-7 there in the second quarter. Once again, we're going to return to the game you're watching. It'll either be New Jersey or Birmingham or Arizona and Oakland. We hope you're enjoying the first day of USFL action.
Well, at halftime, 10-3 ball game. Lynch won. What do you think? Overly conservative, or is it truly the defense?
Well, I think both teams do look conservative, but I think that the New Jersey Generals can only get more proficient. They're playing the kind of ball game they like to play. Ball control, the short passes, taking advantage of the seams in the zone, running when they have to. Of course, the Birmingham Stallions could be phenomenal in the second half. They have so much explosive potential in that ball club. Cribbs downfield, Jim Smith, Joey Jones proving himself to be a good short receiver, also has the deep speed. They could blow the game open in the second half.
The wind, however, going from left to right is going to be difficult to make anything very deep. But as you look at the stats of the first half, I think it's rather abundantly clear that the wind played a part in it. Now, the turnovers, 2 turnovers for Birmingham, and in particular, the one pass that Stoudt threw down there for Smith just seemed to sail in that swirling wind.
Well, it did seem to sail, and those turnovers have made the difference in the ball game. However, if you look at the stats, what you see are 2 ball control teams. They have Herschel Walker playing for New Jersey, yet they're only rushing for 58 yards. He has 2 sore shoulders. Brian Sipe has a short passing game that's working for him, and they'll use it not just because he's sore, but because it takes pressure off of him.
Now, where do you gamble?
Where do you gamble? If you're Birmingham, I think you start gambling by putting the ball in the air. They've got a good tight end with good speed. He can go down the middle and get the seams, open up that secondary a little bit. Then you send Joe Cribbs downfield. I think they also have to blitz a little bit more. Both teams are playing conservative defense. They're bending, not really breaking that much, but they both have to be a little bit more aggressive on their defensive play.
Okay. Score at halftime is New Jersey 10 and Birmingham 3. And we're close to the start of the second half of play. Well, they've freed the balloons here at Legion Field in Birmingham as we're waiting for the teams to come back on. And here is a corrected score. The San Antonio Gunslingers with Rick Neuheisel at quarterback, and a bit of an unusual defensive alignment that Gil Steinke is using with San Antonio, leading the New Orleans Breakers 10-7. And what he had been practicing and the thing that he had showed in some of the training camp was literally an 8-man front, and sometimes 9, and they just come out there and butt heads with you. And if you can get somebody loose, then the 2 safety men pick them up. But it's an absolute challenge defense, and it's obviously causing the New Orleans Breakers some troubles. In the meantime, Cliff Stoudt has not found it easy going with the Birmingham Stallions against the kind of defense that the New Jersey Generals have been showing.
They haven't, the New Jersey Generals haven't been doing anything spectacular, just playing a standard kind of zone defense. On the other hand, Brian Sipe has been able to find the open seams against the Birmingham Stallions.
Right now, let's join Mike Berry.
I'm with Herb Spencer, linebacker for the Stallions here. You trail by a touchdown. What do you have to do to stop this in the second half?
Well, we need to go back to our game plan and control the ball a little more, keep the defense off the field, and hopefully Cliff and Joe and the other guys, will get some things going offensively.
Does Brian Sipe have any tricks up his sleeve to try and fool you guys?
Not really. Brian is very poised. He knows exactly where to go in tough situations. We feel like we're doing the job defensively. We just need to get something going offensively.
What's it like to go after Herschel Walker?
It's exciting. I hadn't got a good hit on him yet, but I'm hoping to get something on him in the second half.
Always an adventure. Thank you, Herb Spencer.
Thank
Keith?
you.
Isn't that funny? You got a great running back, the All-American, Mr. Everything, and every linebacker in the world has just got his nostrils flared and snorting for a chance to whack it.
Keith, you don't make a name for yourself. You don't make yourself known as a tough ball player by hitting the guy that's 185 pounds and will fall down if you blow on him. You have to go after the big guys, the guys who can bowl you over, the guys who are tough, and then people will respect you for what you do well.
We're ready to go with the third quarter of play. New Jersey will be kicking off, and Birmingham receiving will be operating into the wind. That means in the fourth quarter, the Birmingham Stallions will have the wind at their back. Though as this 20-mile-an-hour wind comes into Legion Field, it tends to swirl around, because at one end of the stadium, the flags are blowing out. Same thing at the other end of the stadium, they're blowing out. It is a high, hanging, short kick. Lonnie Johnson from the 10 breaks it big, out to about the 34. So Lonnie Johnson, who's averaging, his first return was 21, his second return was 25, and here come the Stallions from their 34.
John Joyce, number 47, just saved what could have been a touchdown as we take a look at him on special teams covering this kickoff. He was just able to reach out and grab the foot as he was coming by. Watch this. He'll be on the ground, diving for the shoestring tackle.
All right, Cliff Stoudt sets him up from the 34 for a first down play. Turns and gives the ball to Joe Cribbs, and Cribbs sends it over the left side behind Adelette and Tom Banks in the center, and Bob Leopold knocks him down at the 37, 3 yards.
Raleigh Dodge is not the kind of coach who'll panic. He wants to establish a running game up the middle, then break it out to the outside, then go to his play-action passes. He's down by 7 points. That's 1 touchdown. Why should he venture and change too much from his game plan? Why? Well, I think he just needs to open up to spread out the defense a little bit more.
Second down and 7. 3 wide people, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom of the picture. Cribbs, no place to go. Nothing doing. He turned and ran right into the arms of Big Bob Horn, the inside linebacker from Oregon State. 1 year at San Francisco and 6 years with San Diego.
I talked with Jim LeClaire just before the game started, and I asked him what he thought the linebackers with all that experience would do for that young defensive line that's combined experience of 2 years. He said, we give them more confidence. They feel a lot stronger, a lot more secure in what they're doing because we're backing them up.
Third down and 7, and obvious passing down as Stoudt puts it in the air to the sidelines, and he overthrows Jim Smith. So the pass is too high, and the home crowd now is getting on Cliff Stoudt a little bit. They remember, I am sure, how Bobby Lane came off the bench a number of times last year and moved the football team.
Well, Bobby Lane is still capable of coming off the bench. Of course, he is more familiar with the offense than Cliff Stoudt. One thing Cliff Stoudt really doesn't need right now is to get down on himself. Right now, he needs to build his confidence up and feel secure that he is the starting quarterback and lead this ball club.
Skip Johnson to punt for Birmingham, and Mike Williams, the deep man for New Jersey, heading into the wind. High snap. But he gets it out. Pretty good kick. Williams comes up on the run. And he'll go down short of the 35. 33-yard punt. Herb Spencer downfield to make the tackle.
For the most part, throughout the first half, New Jersey has had the best field position.
First down from the 33 of New Jersey. And Sipe gives it to Walker. Fred Bohannon is out there, turns him back, he gets 1 yard. Bohannon played off the block well, forced Herschel back inside, and Dallas Hickman.
Well, he played off the blocks both of number 89, Sam Bowers, and number 62, Dave Lapham, to come back around the outside to make the play on Herschel Walker. And that's no easy task when you're giving away inches and pounds to those big offensive linemen.
And dealing with the speed of Walker, the incredible acceleration that he has. Second down, 9. Side quickly to the air, sideline McConaughey gets his first down as Tommy goes across the 45 and up to the 46. Last year at the opening game, 38,352 for the Birmingham Stallions. Today, they can't nail down exact numbers, but this is the number they have given, 62,300, and that would be a new attendance record for the USFL. The old record in that Michigan-Oakland playoff game at 60,237 at the Silverdome. Arthur runs out of a tackle, and he is brought down by Bohannon at the 49. Number 77 had a hold of him and couldn't hold him. That was Dave Purifoy.
Dave Purifoy penetrated upfield, and just as he came off the offensive lineman, there was number 33, Maurice Coughlin with the ball in his hand and already moving to the outside.
Gain on the play of 3 yards, second down and 7. The ball is sitting at the New Jersey 49 at 10:50 to go in the third quarter of play. And Birmingham man is offside. Herschel Walker coming outside with it, runs it down to the 46 of Birmingham before Purifoy.
And Herschel protecting himself because as he turned that corner, there were 4 red jerseys around him.
Purifoy is a man to jump, trying to anticipate the snap count. And that's a dangerous thing with an old pro like Brian Sipe.
You'll see him just pop out at the top of the screen. It's one thing that a veteran will try and do, especially if a quarterback has given him an indication of always going on the same count.
Offsides. Number 77 on the defense. Second down.
For Birmingham, that's 4 flags, 25 yards, as Bob Lane now is warming up on the sidelines for Birmingham. We may see him. New Jersey's been flagged 3 times for 30 yards. Ball is inside the 46, and it's second down and 1.5 yards. Carthen and Harmon are the backs for New Jersey. And no, it's Walker. Walker it is. And Walker is loose. And Herschel runs it inside the 30 down to about the 27.
When you describe Herschel Walker, he's a running back who is not an instinctive runner, but he's a runner who looks to see where he has to go, reads his blocking, and then takes off. Here he reads his blocking up front. All the way, watch his head. He's looking downfield, picking up the lanes, picking up the blocks, and then he makes his move.
And it's a first down for New Jersey. You look at that 225 pounds, and remember that Herschel used to compete in track, and he was, he's in the Olympic area with his speed for 100 meters. Walker going in motion as Sipe on a short drop, lofts it up in the air. Pass intended for Collins, and the pass is knocked away by Ricky Ray.
Number 27, Ricky Ray, might have put a little hand on him just to give himself a little leverage, but the officials didn't see it. Number 82 is the rookie again, Clarence Collins, and he has a step on him. The ball is just thrown a little bit short, and he's able to get a hand on it. That's about the 3rd pass so far today, Keith, that Brian Sipe has thrown. It has been about 2 feet short.
Well, Clanton made a fine play. That was a good play by Ray. Both of them had touchdown all over them. But the Birmingham people came up with a play when they had to. On second down, Sipe again to throw it. Goes down the middle with this one. Pass caught by Sam Bowers, the tight end. Roll down at the 12. First down, New Jersey.
Birmingham's defense has yet to really stop Sam Bowers. He has caught passes coming across the middle. He's been open deep, and he caught a big pass in the first quarter, a low flag route near the sideline.
There's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. It's against Birmingham, and it may have been roughing the quarterback.
I see Sam Bowers working on number 26, David Evans, out of Central Arkansas this time. Evans just gives him a little bit too much room. He's able to work underneath him, get the short pass.
Here's your call on the penalty.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 77 on the defense. It's a tack on. First down.
Dave Purifoy roughing up Brian Sipe a little bit. And so they tack it on the end of the play, and it moves down to the Birmingham 6, where it's first and goal to go, New Jersey. Expensive rough and tumble act by Mr. Purifoy. First and goal. That's Carthen. He's close, but not quite.
Carthen on the carry.
Maurice Carthen is 6'1", 230 pounds. He's just 22. He'll probably get bigger before he's finished.
Watch the offensive line as they charge off the ball here. They get the jump with the snap and just drive the defensive line back, spread them out, and then Carthen makes contact and picks up another 2 yards after the contact.
Morris has picked up 39 yards on 10 carries in the ball game. Ball is on the 1, second down, goal, New Jersey. Touchdown. So Maurice Carthen steps in there for his second touchdown of the day.
Walt Michaels, there you see him pacing the sideline, has to be pleased with the overall execution of this offensive team. They're not trying to bite off more than they can handle. They're not trying to go for the big points, but steadily marching down the field, getting better with each drive.
Ruzek for the extra point. Barbaro's hold. Gary's got it down. The kick is through. At 8 minutes and Well, I can't read the clock again. I think it's messed up. But it's 17-3, New Jersey. Another look at the touchdown.
From ground level, when you're down here this close, you just want to drive them off the ball, create a little hole. Coughlin just gets a tiny hole, and he's able to fall over the top. If you look at that graphic, it's
the bad clock has afflicted our graphics guys.
Yes.
8:60. Here's the kickoff by Ruzek. And it is Bohannon. Outside. And out of bounds at the 29. Marcus Hackett shoved him out of bounds. So now let's see who comes out the quarterback, the Birmingham Stallions. It's Bob Lane. Raleigh Dodge on the sidelines, hoping that Bob Lane can get something going. Look at this score. Memphis Showboats third quarter leading Philadelphia 6-3. Bob Lane was a defensive back most of his college career. He went to Northeast Louisiana so he could play quarterback and finally got his chance and played well last year. And he gives the ball to Ken Talton. And Talton runs from the 29 to the 31 for 2 yards on the pickup. So the crowd really came up when Bob Lane made his appearance on the field because they remembered him from a year ago when he stepped in and played so very well. He's a big fellow, 6'3", 200 pounds. Now he's got double wide, split backs behind him. Joe Cribbs to the top and Talton to the bottom. And Lane's first pass of the ball game went quickly to Jim Smith for a first down as Smith throws it out of bounds just short of the 40.
And we haven't seen much of Jim Smith today as he makes that catch. Jim Smith is the kind of ball player who can't get enough of the football. Right now, he's probably talking to Bobby Lane and said, Bobby, I can beat him on this route, on that route. Just keep your eyes on me and throw it to me.
Lane got it to him in a hurry, too. Very quick release. Popped him right on the numbers. First down, Birmingham, 39. Give it to Cribbs. And Cribbs hit at the line of scrimmage. Picks up 2 to the 41. He carried Jim LeClaire for 2 yards. And the old bear wrestler you don't carry very far. He will take you down.
Not very far. He's a solid, steady ball player. Joe Cribbs did not play any of the scrimmages, nor did he play in the one preseason game that the Birmingham Stallions had because his position, whether he would be able to play or not, was not decided in court. So this is the first time Joe Cribbs has also seen action.
Second down and 8 from the 41. Lane's pass is away. Pass complete. Good to Darrell Mason, the tight end. First down, Birmingham at the New Jersey 49. Taking what they give him.
That's right. He's just opening up his offense a little bit more, using his tight end Mason, who has not been used before now in this ball game, using the play action passes. He's got to get the ball downfield. So far, the defense of New Jersey has had the luxury of playing in very tight.
Generals are leading 17-3. Birmingham desperately needs a touchdown to get back into the ball game. Bob Lane relieving Cliff Stoudt. Gives to Joe Cribbs. And Cribbs runs into a stack. The stack includes Tom Woodland, the nose tackle out of Missouri, and Bob Horn, the inside linebacker. Cribbs has now picked up 39 yards on the ground and 12 carries. He picked up about 3 on that carry. Second down and 7. The ball is at the 46 of New Jersey. He's been running on first down, passing on second down since he came in. Same action. Tango. Tom Woodland, 6'1", 270, a Missouri Tiger. Got his man.
That time, I think Bobby Lane would have liked to have gotten the ball to number 4, Joey Jones. But Joey Jones misread the coverage and allowed time. Here's 71 Woodland. Just comes in after he defeats someone at the offensive line. We couldn't see who. And makes the sack.
First sack of the ball game. That's a big turnaround from a year ago when the quarterbacks were spending the day upside down. Loss on the play, 3 yards. Third down, 13. Actually, the loss is 6 yards. Third down and 13. Lane's pass is incomplete. Intended for Jim Smith. Jimmy had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it down, and so they'll have to give it up.
I am very surprised that Jim Smith did not come up with that catch. Ball came right to him, hit him in the hands. He was in the crowd, but that's the kind of catch Jim Smith is accustomed to making.
So Birmingham's offense is turned away one more time by the New Jersey defense. And Skip Johnson's punts today have been 37, 38, and 33. That's a high one. He gets it to turn over. It's a good kick. 19-yard line for Mike Williams. Buried. Good coverage downfield. 32-yard high hanger. -8 on the return. And New Jersey owns the football. First down at their own 12. That's Walt Michaels, the coach of the New Jersey Generals. His ball club leading by 14 points, 17-3. Crowd in excess of 60,000 at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Kind of a windy, brisk day. Temperature right around 60 degrees. That's Bob Lane, number 12, who had stepped in on the last series in relief of Cliff Stoudt. Right now, Birmingham defense needs to pin down New Jersey and give the Birmingham offense a chance in good field position. And the ball is given to Herschel Walker, and that's not a bad defensive effort right there, led by David Evans, number 26, who looped in from the outside.
He's playing that rover back position. One of his responsibilities is to make sure the run doesn't come outside. You see him 26 at the bottom. He comes upfield. He sees the handoff going to the second man, reaches in and grabs Herschel Walker. He doesn't actually make a tackle alone, but he slows him up until he gets help.
Second down, 10. Second down, gets his pass away, drills it to McConaughey. And Ricky Ray brings him down, but using again the instinctive abilities of McConaughey. There's certain people, and you were one of them, Lynn Swan, that just simply, when the play had to be made, you just give your body up and go get the football.
What you do is you put your body in there. You know you've got to make the catch. You know you're going to get hit, so forget about your body. Catch the football, and if you're going to take some punishment, make it worthwhile.
Ball is just outside the 30 for New Jersey, first down. McConaughey, 3 catches, 47 yards. First down pass by Brian Sipe is to Sam Bowers, and it is incomplete. And Chuck Clanton comes across and lays a lick on Sam Bowers.
There's a flag on the field.
And they're coming back with it. It's against New Jersey. The Denver Gold and Los Angeles Express in the first quarter, and Los Angeles is a ball club that's literally been turned around. They have revised the playing roster of that club considerably. And the Memphis Showboats startling with a 6-3 lead over Philadelphia.
Number 62 on the offense. First down.
New Orleans Breakers trailing San Antonio.
In Los Angeles, I have to call it the Gang of Three. They're all in San Diego together in the old American Football League. Hagel at quarterback, Don Klosterman, and of course, the old wizard, Sid Gilman.
All backed up now to near the 20, where it's first down and 20 for New Jersey. Oh, Walker is hit behind the line of scrimmage. It is Dallas Hickman, the 9-year veteran out of California, who hit him right on the numbers.
Dallas Hickman is listed as a linebacker, but in his defensive formation they're playing today, he is up on the line of scrimmage as a defensive end. He got upfield very, very quickly. Herschel looked like he wanted to spin out of trouble, but Hickman just had his arms all around him. You'll see Hickman down at the bottom of the screen. He just charges off the line. This is coaching. This is a defensive philosophy that enables him to do this. He just comes off the ball and meets Herschel just after he takes the handoff.
Lost about 3 yards, so it'll be second down and 23 as Sipe drops. Pressure's on. Over the middle it goes. Pass good to Collins. Collins brought down at about the 26. Brought down by Chuck Clanton. So you got the rookie out of Auburn, just 21 years of age, playing the tough free safety spot for Birmingham and doing a fine job.
Well, that time he gave up a little bit more room than he should have, but they were in a blitz, and he didn't want to give up the big scores as we see the Pittsburgh Maulers leading the Oklahoma Outlaws 3-0 in the third quarter. The Invaders trailing the Arizona Wranglers.
George Allen made a comment the other day that we are not going to lose. And here's the big surprise of the day. Jacksonville really rolling against Washington. Tampa Bay now has taken the lead over the Houston Gamblers. On third down and 14, Sipe goes deep down the middle, and it's too long, trying to go to McConaughey one more time.
Dennis
coverage by Dennis Woodbury out of Southern Arkansas against McConaughey, who played his college ball at Central Arkansas.
Brian Sipe was faced with a blitz on the last 2 downs, and then the second time he faced it, he tried to take advantage of it by going deep. But the pressure was good on the part of the defensive line and linebackers. He had to get the ball away quickly. He overthrew his man because of good coverage.
Tim Cutts is in to punt now. He's kicked twice today, both for 35 yards. He has the wind behind him. Portal. What a whirly wind. Ron Frederick is the deep man for Birmingham. Low snap, but there's no pressure, and gets it out and gets a fine kick away. And a fair catch is called by Frederick. He didn't want to risk losing the football because Birmingham gets pretty good field position out of it at their own 34, trailing by 14 points.
Frank Gifford with a USFL update from Los Angeles. Game just underway out there. Denver leads Los Angeles 7-3. Los Angeles got a 36-yard field goal from Tony Zendejas. Denver came right back. Craig Morton's goal has a 7-3 lead. Bo Matthews taking it in from 1 yard out. Okay, let's return now. Keith Jackson and Lynn Spahn.
Well, the Birmingham defense did its job. Clock shows 2:50 to go third quarter, if that's correct. From the 34, Birmingham's ball, and Bob Lane is back in there at quarterback. Almost tripped, gives the ball to Cribbs. Cribbs gets outside. And Joe gets it across the 40 to the 41, 7 yards. Leopold brought him down.
Good blocking that time by the offensive line. Adelet was able to just get to the outside, push Bob Leopold to the outside enough for Joe Cribbs to scoot to the outside. Leopold making in on the tackle, but not until Joe Cribbs picks up 7 yards.
Lane's pattern his previous time in was to run first down, throw second down. Second down and 3. Stay with the ground game, give it to Cribbs, and Joe going for the first down is close to it. Looks like he might have it. If they give him the mark near the 45, he will have the first down.
Keith, I think that's a little bit too predictable for an offensive team to be at this stage in the ball game, especially when you're trailing behind. And they're behind by 2 touchdowns. There's plenty of time to get it back, but you have to make a move soon. You can't wait until the last 5 minutes of the ball game to put your charge on.
Jones comes to the bottom of the picture, and Smith goes to the top. Lane throwing on first down. Gets it away. Smith at the 41 of New Jersey. Bob Horn brought him down. No way an inside linebacker is going to cover Smith.
Not one-on-one, not even in the zone coverage. Jim Smith is just running a simple route. All too often, teams try and get too complicated, and they take themselves out of a ball game. Here, it's just a simple hook, moving the ball downfield. They've been running the ball, so run a play-action pass on first down now.
Call it the 42, closer there. Cribbs, sweep, outside. Gets away from 1, 2, and picks up yardage when it looked like it could be a negative circumstance for him. He turned it upfield, juked the man, ran through a tackle. Barbaro finally brought him down. Gary got him at the 35.
When Joe Cribbs is playing his game, his feet look like they never come more than 6 or 7 inches off the ground. He just scoots along. So when he has to make a plant or cut, his feet are so close to the ground, he gets it done very quickly.
All great runners are skaters. Simpson, Brown, you name it. Walker. Keep those feet down there. Second down, 4. I think the left side of the line left too soon.
The entire left side of the line.
Well, it could have been the snap was coming late.
Number 78 for the offense.
They're just picking on Buddy Adelet because that whole side went early. Clock stops at 43 seconds to go in the third quarter. New Jersey leading 17-3. 5-yard penalty backs them up to the 40, where it's second down in about 8. Goodness, it was off the hands of Smith. That's true now that Jim Smith has dropped literally down the middle.
He's had his hands on both of them. I know Jim deep down inside is very upset with himself. Just take a look at it. There's no reason for Jim to drop these. He's got good concentration. That ball just hits his hands and bounces right through.
Maybe he needs to wet those scuba gloves.
Maybe he needs to take them off.
Well said. 38 seconds to go, third quarter.
In Pittsburgh, we use those gloves when it got extremely cold. It's a 60-degree day here in Birmingham.
Lane will run it. Dives for the marker, and he's got it. Bob Lane from Northeast Louisiana just put his head down and went for it and got it.
And the official signals first down, so put it in the record book.
And Walt Michaels a little upset because they let the quarterback get away from the pressure. He picked up just enough of a block downfield, and seeing the first down marker, Bob Lane went for it.
That was Jimmy Smith who gave him that block. Jimmy Smith, although he may have let a couple of passes get away from him, will not let that stop him from doing what he has to do.
Well, they won't get a playoff before the quarter expires. So it's 17-3 in New Jersey. United States Football League action. The Generals and the Stallions will continue after this word from our local station. Birmingham first down at the New Jersey 31. The Generals going into this final quarter leading by 2 touchdowns, 14 points. And Bob Lane back to throw on first down. Little swing out to Cribbs. Setting up the screen for him, and a fine defensive play outside by Bob Leopold of Notre Dame.
Although problem, Buddy Adelette didn't get that block for him as we take a look at the third quarter stats. Surprising, New Jersey almost doubled the number of yards rushing in the passing category. They've also dominated in time of possession. They've just played steady, consistent offense and have had field position. Birmingham Stallions just have not gotten on track here in the third quarter. Now they're in the fourth period.
The screenplay picked up 4, second down and 6 from the 27. Lane throws to the sidelines to Smith, first down. As Smith is thrown down at the 17 by Mike Williams.
He's working on Mike Williams, who played 3 years in Toronto, 1 year in Hamilton, out of Texas A&M. Williams really doesn't have the speed and the quickness to stay with Jim Smith. Jim Smith could probably work this guy all the way down the field, and he's going to have to get help underneath with the linebacker if they want to stop that little short out pass.
Lane is now 5 out of 7 for 48 yards, and actually the 2 incompletes were on the hands of Jim Smith. He could be 7 for 7. Give the ball to Cribbs on a sweep. Cribbs, fine play, number 24, Terry Daniels out of Tennessee. He just came in there and sacrificed himself, knocked the blocker aside, and in the process took down the runner.
Well, the cornerbacks have to be extremely tough because they do have to take on pulling guards, fullbacks when they bring that sweep out, and he did the job there.
Philadelphia now gets the lead over Memphis in the final quarter by a score of 10-9, but that's quite a showing for Pepper Rogers' outfit up there at Memphis.
I wonder just how laxed Philadelphia may have gone into that ball game.
Well, they're sorry now, probably. Loss on the play of a yard, second down, 11. Give it up the middle to Carlton, and Ken Carlton is pinned down at the 15 by Jim LeClaire, the inside linebacker out of North Dakota, at 12 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals.
LeClaire is a tough linebacker. I've played against him all the years I was in Pittsburgh while he was at Cincinnati. Here you see Tarleton getting a handoff. He just reads, steps in between everyone else, makes a hit, and Tarleton's head was looking to the outside to bounce it for more yards, but his body was in the arms of Jim LeClaire.
So it's on the 15, and it's third down and 8. 3 wide receivers in the lineup for Birmingham. This is a very big play for the Stallions. Pressure's on, pass over the middle, and the pass is incomplete, and Bob Leopold knocked it away from Joe Cribbs.
Well, the fans are booing, and they shouldn't. It was just a great defensive play by the entire team. First, a blitz by the New Jersey Generals. They had a man coming right up the middle, putting pressure on Bobby Lane. Now you see the secondary. They're playing too deep. They're giving off ground. Now they're converging. And there's the ball thrown. Leopold makes the play, knocks it away from Joe Cribbs.
A 32-yard field goal try coming up for Scott Norwood. He hit one from 26 today. He missed wide right from 38. This is 32 yards. Lane to hold it. And he gets it.
The kick is good.
And so with 12:19 to play in the ball game, the score is now New Jersey 17 and Birmingham 6.
USFL update from New York. You're looking at action between Oklahoma and Pittsburgh out in Tulsa. The quarterback is Doug Williams for Oklahoma. He finds Derek Hughes touchdown, and Oklahoma goes out on top 7-3. Tough day for Mike Rozier. He's had 19 carries. He's picked up 36 yards. Again, fourth quarter action, Oklahoma over Pittsburgh, 7-3. Back to Keith Jackson.
Looks like a cold, wet day in Pittsburgh, 20.
Yes, it does. Typical. But it's still a lovely city, growing, and I call it home.
And we've got 12:19 to play here in Birmingham in the fourth quarter with New Jersey leading 17-6. Birmingham getting its second field goal out of Scott Norwood. He's now kicked 7 in 2 games. He had 5 in the game last year against New Jersey, which is a league record. But now the Generals offense got a little heat on them. They need to possess the ball, run off some time on that clock.
That field goal was not all bad because it only puts Birmingham 11 points behind, which gives them some room to work if they score a touchdown with the 2-point conversion system.
High driving kick way back into the end zone. There will be no return of that one as Marcus Hackett out of Syracuse couldn't handle it. Wind kept wafting it around, and he had a little trouble getting on handle on it. Mike Berry with Bob Lane.
You went to the well, you came up short, but you got into the rally. What was the reason for the change in the quarterback situation?
I really don't know. You'd have to ask Coach Dotz. Maybe just to try to put a shot in the arm to the players. Like I say, I just have no idea. But we're kind of running out of time. We'd like to think our offense is geared more to, running, play action, passing, and, drop back when we find the time to do it. But now it looks like we'll have to probably go to a little more drop back.
Will you be able to do that against this New Jersey secondary?
They're playing real well. They, linebackers, they're, some super good players, and they're really mixing their defenses up real well, and they're playing tough football.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Keith.
One back offense for the Generals. Carthen lined up, carries the ball over the right side behind Harris and Millard, and moves the football for about 3.
Key possession again for the New Jersey Generals. They would like to move the ball down the field and at least come away with a field goal to put a little more pressure on Birmingham and give them a 14-point cushion. Because with the 11 points, New Jersey, because of the 2-point system, can score 2 touchdowns, miss both attempts at a 2-point conversion, and still be ahead in this ballgame.
Second down and 7 again. A one-back offensive alignment. They got 2 tight ends in this alignment. And Carthen carries the ball, and he is caught at the line of scrimmage and thrown down by Mike Herschel out of Utah State. Had 2 years with the Atlanta Falcons. Herschel Walker, both shoulders bruised, has not played all that much. Had a 16-yard run, an 18-yard run, but his the other 11 carries for Walker, he has totaled only 5 yards. Clarence Harmon is now in the backfield for New Jersey. And the Generals with Brian Sipe at quarterback looking at 3rd down and 7. Looks at Collins, goes over the middle instead. Penalty flag. Interference, Birmingham. I think Bohannon might have gotten there with a little too much authority before the ball arrived.
Well, it would not have been necessary for anyone to get in there too soon, because as Bowers came down the field, he was surrounded by red jerseys. He's not going to give you a move. Watch him just stop and turn around. And there's Fred Bohannon, and right to Bowers' right, there's number 52, Dan Gooch, who's also in position to make the play.
Number 86 on the defense. That's a first down.
Number 86 on the defense. They called the penalty on. There is no 86.
That's all right. It was Bohannon that made the contact. So that moves the football out to the 38 and is an automatic first down on the pass interference. I don't think the chains were quite in place as they came up to the ball.
The line judge stopped play on the far side of the field on the New Jersey sideline.
Whistles one into the hands of Lawrence Collins. And Collins has got another, no, not quite a first down. As he turned back upfield, he gave away the first down. He's a yard short.
Yeah, but he still made the catch, and it brings him 2nd and 1. Sipe reading what he thought might have been a blitz. Again, he gets very loose coverage by the secondary. As you can see, Collins has all kinds of room between Bohannon there. He runs backwards a little bit, loses a yard or two, but still 2nd down with 2 yards to go for first.
Brian Sipe now 12 out of 22, 174 yards, 1 interception, 2nd down and 2. Ball from the 46, give it to Walker, and Herschel Walker spinning it. He's close to the first down. Penalty flag goes down.
73 is Doug Mackey, and he was getting in a little tussle with number 69, Mike Perko.
Holding is against New Jersey.
How about that? Probably one of the veterans again.
You never held, did you? Of course, you were never close enough. You didn't get into traffic. You stayed
I'm a
outside.
receiver. The only thing I held was the football. Raleigh Dodge.
Holding, number 73 on the offense, 2nd down.
Raleigh Dodge said yesterday, coming into the ball game, he likes for his team to have a tough match at the beginning of the season. At the top of the screen, you see right there the hold. Right now, his team is getting thoroughly tested, and right now, the character of the team is going to be tested.
Ball backs up to the 38. And it's 2nd down and 10. And number 50, Milton Fields, linebacker from Arkansas, was in the New Jersey backfield. Did somebody move?
Well, the ball was never snapped, but there was contact made.
Delay a game, illegal contact with the defense on the center. First, 2nd down.
We'll take a look at the right side of the screen. You see Fields. He tries to anticipate. He comes in, touches the center. That's a 5-yard penalty. Gives the New Jersey Generals a bit of a break.
Earlier I gave the impression a while ago, I was trying to talk about Dr. Carter being trained by John Weitz. Woody Stevens is the man who trains Devil's Bag. A lot of people thinking Dr. Carter is the horse to take a run at Devil's Bag in the Flamingo Stakes next week. Here's Brian Sipe giving to Herschel Walker. And Walker is caught and pinned down around the 42-yard line by Fred Bohannon. Bohannon has played a tremendous football game.
He's been very active. The philosophy, again, of the defensive alignment is to free up Bohannon, to free up Spencer and Gooch, who have been in there consistently at the linebacker position, so they can make the initial contact and then get help from their friends, the other people on the defense. This time, Bohannon just grabs him by the leg and drags the big running back down.
So the Birmingham defense now defending on a 3rd and short 7 for New Jersey. The ball just short of the New Jersey 42. Time on the side of the Generals. 9:05 to play in the ball game. And the Generals leading by 11, 17-6. Sipe back. Goes down the middle with it. Intended for the tight end, Sam Bowers. And it is overthrown. Into that much wind, if you don't put some real zip on the ball, it's going to float away, and that's what it did there.
Well, with that much wind and this much pressure, as you see, 6 people coming in, collapsing the pocket all around Sipe. Number 55 is Herb Spencer, the linebacker, as he was throwing on his back foot, so he couldn't get zip on the ball.
And in to punt, Tim Cutts for the Generals. Ron Frederick beat for Birmingham. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for Birmingham. They're going after him, and they almost got it. Almost got him. But a fair catch call by Frederick back at the 26-yard line. It was Ricky Ray, number 27, that almost blocked that punt. 31 yards on the kick. You'll see Ray, number 27, flash in front there. He actually ran by it. He overran it. We'll be back.
4th quarter action out in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona with the football. George Allen's aging quarterback Greg Landry looks deep, finds Lenny Willis at this point, leading 21-7, 72-yard touchdown, and Arizona out on top 28-7. George Allen's 14th season opener as a head coach. He is 12-1. He's looking to make it 13-1. He has a good shot at it today. They lead 28-7 on the fourth period. Keith?
The George Allen bunch rolling it up now at home. Herschel Walker, not a whole lot of action today. 15 carries. Got sore shoulders. Bob Lane's pass. Good to Joey Jones, the rookie out of Alabama. Up at the 41. Mike Williams brought him down. So Lane continues to try to pick on Williams. And he flashes little Joey right in front of him.
And he's doing a very good job. They're having some success now, throwing those short passes on the outside, but I've yet to see them go after the big play. Again, that defensive secondary is playing very tight.
Jones is the man with the speed for Birmingham. Lane on first down. Goes again, short, this time to Cribbs. And Cribbs is up to the 47. That's a pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Bob Horn, the tackle for New Jersey.
On this drive, what they need, not just to get points on the board, they need the emotional lift of going down the field and scoring a touchdown. They have not scored a touchdown this afternoon.
That's Talton carrying. Gets 2 yards. So they're looking at 3rd and short as LeClaire brings him down. Jim LeClaire steps in, makes the tackle on Ken Talton.
Jim LeClaire said he feels good and that he is happy to be out of Cincinnati.
All right, it's 3rd down and 2. They've sent in the 2 Robin Earl to give him a 2 tight end alignment. They brought out both the wide receivers. That's a long 2, maybe 2.5. Lane's going to throw it. Gets it off to the sidelines, and it is a bad pass. It is intercepted by Gregory Johnson. Actually, all Gregory had to do was just stand there and wait for it because he threw it right to him.
I don't know if that ball slipped out of Bobby Lane's hands or he just threw a bad pass, but there was nothing on it whatsoever. That didn't have enough speed to get to the sideline. Another turnover. New Jersey heads 17-6. We'll be back.
2 of those 4 games will be seen next Sunday on a regional basis here on ABC. Games will be announced early next week. But Washington taking a licking today from Jacksonville, 46-7. Philadelphia having all kinds of trouble with the Memphis Showboats. And New Orleans having trouble with the San Antonio Gunslingers. So the newcomers to the league are making some noise today. It is first down, New Jersey, at their own 44 after the interception. They'll try to run and run and run. And it's Herschel Walker doing the first piece of running for about 4.5 to 5 yards.
And if they can't run, they'll run anyway. They'll hand it off. They won't take any unnecessary chances now.
6.5 minutes to play in the football game. And New Jersey sitting on a 17-6 ball game lead. Raleigh Dodge offense is going to have to do a little fine-tuning on it. Has not been effective today against New Jersey's defensive alignment. Blitz, and I guess they did encroach because it gets a penalty flag from the line judge. The New Jersey Generals defensive unit playing very well today, but it appears to me that the biggest gain for New Jersey is in the way the offensive line is played.
Absolutely. They've been able to possess this ball. As we stated earlier, the last time these 2 teams played, it was Birmingham who possessed the ball 46.5 minutes.
Offside. Number 55 on the defense. 2nd down.
Herb Spencer making the tackle. But this is a New Jersey team with an offensive line that were all rookies on the right side in 1983. They just have 1 year of experience. They've come back a little bit stronger, more confident. They have 2 veterans in Doug Mackey and Dave Lapham who have given them experience on the left side. So now they feel that confidence. You add to that Walt Michaels, a cagey, veteran experienced coach, the intelligence of a Brian Sipe running that team who has not been sacked today. Then you've got the makings of a good ball control offense that even with a Herschel Walker sore, nursing 2 shoulders, you're able to possess the football, put 17 points on the board, and stay in control of the ball game.
It's going to be a short turnaround for New Jersey. They're scheduled March 2nd, which is next Friday. They're scheduled to go into Jacksonville, so they'll have a short week to work. Birmingham goes to Los Angeles. That's Maurice Carthen carrying the football on the first down play from the 45. Gets a yard. Dan Gooch out of Morehead State, a rookie, stepped in to hit him.
Defensive lineman engaged everyone on the offensive line, allowing Gooch a gap just to run in there free and make the stop.
About 5.5 minutes to play in the game. Harmon is in, Walker is out. A change in the backfield for New Jersey. On second down and still about 10. Stays with the ground game. Give it to Harmon. And Harmon runs it to the 43 for a couple of yards. So they'll be looking at third and long.
You look at this crowd of 60+ thousand people who came out here and came out here more than likely to see Joe Cribbs and how he would do. Well, in 1983, they thought that Herschel Walker was going to be the one man and by himself that would raise the New Jersey Generals to a championship position. I'm sure they're a little disappointed by the play of the team thus far, but they have to give them time.
It's third and 7. Brian Sipe over the middle with it, intended for Collins and slapped away. Ricky Ray, number 27, knocked it out of there. 26-year-old out of Norfolk State. And so it brings up fourth down, and Birmingham will get the football. And unless they can turn something pretty exciting in a return here, they're not going to have very good field position as the barefoot kicker Tim Cutts comes in. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. They almost blocked the last one. Ray just missed it. They've got 10 red shirts on the line of scrimmage. He gets it out of there. Hits it for the sidelines, not wanting to risk a return. Takes a Birmingham bounce and bounces back up to the 28. So that's pretty good field position. A very short putt of 14 yards by Tim Cutts. 4:27 to play in the game. Rushing comparisons of Walker and Cribbs in the ball game. Joey totaling 80 yards, including 4 pass receptions for 23. Birmingham's ball, first down, their own 28. Now let's see if they try to go deep. Joey Jones is the man with the great speed for them as Bob Lane drops deep. Goes deep to the sidelines and overthrows Jones. Joey had turned it outside in front of Mike Williams and was available. But Lane just simply couldn't deliver the ball to him because that is a long pass when you got to throw it cross field like that.
Well, Mike Williams was just dropping back deep, not wanting to give up the big play. And when Joey Jones turned around towards the sideline, there was a man underneath him. Bobby Lane had to throw the ball over his head, try and drop it down in between the linebacker and Mike Williams, the corner.
And it's second and 10. Hooks up with Jim Smith up around the 35. That's 3 yards short of a first down. They had Jones going deep on that side, and Smith hurled it in the middle, made the catch.
They were playing those last 2 downs with 5 defensive backs. You saw number 22, Jesse Johnson. He was the 5th back in that nickel defense.
It's third down and 3. And Lane gets it away for Cribbs, and Joe hangs on for the first down.
Real good catch by Joe Cribbs. He had to stretch out, catch that on his fingertips. He picks up the first down. He was wide open. New Jersey had substituted for the 5th defensive back, thinking that Birmingham might run the ball, only needing 3 yards.
I tell you, if they are going to get a big play today, Lynn Swan, it may be Joe Cribbs swinging out of the backfield. Good protection. Passes away. Good to Smith. Decked at the 41 of New Jersey, and it'll be close to a first down if, in fact, it is not a first down.
It will be a first down from where the officials are now marking the ball. You're right, Keith, with Joe Cribbs swinging on the backfield. If he can get the ball, or Jim Smith has good running ability, if they can get the ball in the middle of the field, get away from that first tackler, get a little running room, either one could be dangerous. But Joe Cribbs, definitely the most explosive.
Lane's pass is tipped twice. First by the intended receiver, Jim Smith, and then by the defender, number 27, Gregory Johnson. Neither could control it.
Number 32, Ken Talton, was running back to the huddle saying, with his arms outstretched, I was open, get the ball to me.
Mike Williams laid a pretty good lick on Jim Smith that time, too. Jimmy got up rather slowly. It is second down and 10, Birmingham. The ball is on the New Jersey 41, New Jersey 17, Birmingham 6, 2:24 to play in the ball game. They've got Jones and Smith on the same side at the bottom of the picture. Second down and 10. The pass is away. Going deep with it. Jones is shoved out of bounds. Oh, boy. Mike Williams shoved Joey Jones off the field.
There was definitely contact made. I couldn't tell whether it was a deliberate shove or whether Joey Jones just angled in and forced the contact. You see right there, he's walking in. It looked like he just forced the contact.
Yep.
And went into his theatrics.
Mike did not foul him.
No, Mike didn't foul him. Nice. That's a nice try. Young receiver trying to use an older move, an old veteran move. He just tried to draw the penalty because he saw the ball was too far, and the official, well, he was looking up at the ball anyway.
He was looking at the ball. He didn't see what was going on.
If he had tackled him.
Third down and 10, pressure zone. Lane gets away from it. He's going to pull it down and run it. Looking for some help. Sticks his head down and dives for the first down. But there is a penalty flag back up around the 45. Probably holding.
See big number 74, Jim Byrne out of Washington, saying that it's holding against Birmingham.
With 2:09 to play, if they don't stick it in the end zone right here.
Jim, yeah, they're in big trouble. Looking at Jim Byrne, he's only 6'3", 270 pounds. That man wants to say it's holding, I'll agree with him.
That's 10 flags on Birmingham for 71 yards.
Holding number 74 on the offense. Third down.
That's Pat Saindon. The right guard caught holding. Just trying to protect his quarterback.
He's out of Vanderbilt. George McIntyre usually doesn't get the big guys in Vanderbilt. Probably tell them all kinds of little tricks to get away with.
He's pretty good size, 275 pounds.
Yeah.
Third down and 20. Cribbs is out. 3 wide receivers. Lane steps away from the pressure. Goes down the middle with it. And incomplete. Frederick was the man down. Jim Smith was down. Smith went for it first. Frederick dove for it. Neither man could come up with it. It is 4th down and 20. And I don't think they're thinking punt here.
And there's 2 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock, which would give New Jersey more than enough time for midfield to go down and score points if Birmingham doesn't get the first down.
4th and 20. Passes away down the middle, and the toss is caught by Darrell Mason, the tight end, for a first down at the New Jersey 24. And 2-minute warning. The clock is stopped. You've got a timeout on the field, so Lane delivered it.
Just take a look at the replay. Darrell Mason, again, has excellent speed to get downfield, and he is in the crowd. This is incredible concentration on his part. People converging all around, a low pass. He keeps his concentration, bends down, picks it up, not caring about his body, only about the completion. Maintains possession for the Birmingham Stallions. We'll be right back.
Darrell Mason has caught 3 passes today for 44 yards. All of them have been for first down. So he has been a clutch man for Birmingham, but they're still short. With 1:57 to play, the issue is still in doubt as Birmingham sits on the New Jersey 24, first down. Lane gets the ball away in a hurry, And the reason was number 74, Jim Byrne, was pounding in from the nose tackle position. Big rookie out of Wisconsin La Crosse. Raleigh Dot on the sidelines. Not a bad looking football team, but the offense has got to find a little more versatility, perhaps is a fair word. 1:53 to play in the ball game, and it's 2nd down and 10. Birmingham with all 3 timeouts remaining. Bob Lane this time has good protection, gets it away, and it is incomplete. Intended for Joey Jones, and Jesse Johnson, number 22, knocked it away. Jesse Johnson played for Walt Michaels at the New York Jets for 3 years.
He's the nickelback coming in on their prevent defense. Had a chance to pick that one off. Little Joey Jones saw him come across in the front, get his hands in the ball. He kind of stopped. Ball got loose. Joey had given up on it already.
Birmingham has converted on 3rd down 5 times in 14 tries today. It's 3rd down and 10. Lane with a deep drop. It goes to the short man, Mason. And Mason is rolled out of bounds short of his 1st down, this time at the 17. Johnson again making the play for New Jersey.
Another 4th down situation for Raleigh. I doubt that he changes his mind. He will again go for it.
He needs 4 yards. At least a good 3.5. Ball is square on the 17. They've got to go just inside the 14.
When it's 4th down, 3.5 seems like 10.
Lane's pass to the sideline. Jones. Well, he's a rookie.
It's still in his hands.
Ball's right in his hands. All he had to do was look it in and pull it in, and he's got his 1st down.
He has to catch this pass as if there's no pressure on him, as if it's the 1st quarter, and they're ahead by whatever number of points you want to give them. It's the same catch 10 out of 10 times.
Now Birmingham, with 3 timeouts remaining, will have to spend their timeouts in order to stop the clock, as New Jersey obviously will come out and try to run the football, just grind it out with 1 minute and 38 seconds to play in the game. 17-6, New Jersey. Here comes Herschel. Not much. Gang tackling in the middle on Walker. And now Birmingham will spend the timeout.
Well, Keith, it's so easy for us to sit here and second guess, but let's suppose Raleigh Dodge had gone for the field goal. That would have given him, and it was completed, that would have given him 9 points. That would have put him down by 8 with an onside kick and a touchdown. If they were to score, they could have gone for 2 to tie the ball game up to send it in overtime.
That is, of course, one of the things that exists in the USFL, the opportunity to go for 2. I happen to think it's an exciting decision when it's made. Those are the 4 games scheduled for next Sunday. 2 of them will be shown on ABC on a regional basis. Birmingham going to Los Angeles. New Orleans will be at Oakland, Philadelphia, Washington, and Chicago, Memphis. Herschel Walker in today's ball game on 16 carries has totaled 40 yards. But again, they're not necessarily the alibi for Herschel. In fact, there's no reason to do that. It's just a simple fact the man is playing with very sore shoulders.
Well, the first man we looked at was Brian Sipe, and I think he is the #1 reason for the success of that offense today, because he has led this team as an excellent general down the field, mixing up the run and the pass, going predominantly with the pass, the short ones, not trying to bite off the big plays at any one particular time.
Well, that and
the good defense.
Vastly improved offensive line play. They haven't rattled him around very much at all. Sipe gives it off to number 33, Maurice Carthen. And Carthen gets it out across the 20 and to the 21.
See Maurice Carthen, he ran that sweep, got almost out of bounds, got right within a yard of the sideline. Then he turned it upfield to keep the clock ticking and forced Birmingham to use one of their timeouts.
They now have 2 remaining. There's Big Bob Leopold, who's played an outstanding game for the Generals today at an outside linebacker. And here are other scores now, with Denver and Los Angeles even at 10 at halftime. That game is in Los Angeles. The Philadelphia Stars won over the Memphis Showboats, but they didn't do it until the fourth quarter. 17-9 the final. And the New Orleans Breakers now beating the San Antonio Gunslingers by 13-10 after trailing much of the ball game against the expansion ball club. Rick Neuheisel, the quarterback of the new club down in San Antonio. And the Pittsburgh Maulers and Oklahoma Outlaws. Oklahoma pulls it out 7-3 on a cold, wet day in Pittsburgh.
Well, Willie Woodenhofer able to pull out his first head coaching victory for the Outlaws.
Arizona Wranglers making it look solid against the Oakland Invaders. It is 3rd down and 5 for New Jersey. Coming through to make the play is Joe Cugliari. Joe Cugliari brings down Clarence Harmon on 3rd and 5, and it brings up a kicking down for New Jersey.
Joe Cugliari was in the Pittsburgh camp, but if you ever get a hold of the Generals 1984 media guide, you'll see his face in there, as he was on that New Jersey Generals team at training camp, during training camp, was picked up by the Birmingham Stallions. Raleigh Dodge had a chance to see him in training camp and felt he could help his ball club.
The Jacksonville Bulls in the fourth quarter routing the Washington Federals 46-14. So obviously Matt Robinson's had a big day at quarterback, and the Houston Gamblers have gone back in front of the Tampa Bay Bandits 17-14. Wow, that's Jim Kelly.
Well, we've seen, yeah, that's right. We've seen Tampa Bay. We know that they have a very prolific passing attack under Steve Spurrier, their head coach. But Jim Kelly, who threw the first touchdown in that ball game, must be having some kind of day to stay even.
Well, Tim Cutts is out now, kicking into the wind. And Ron Frederick is deep for Birmingham with 1:11 to play in the football game. Last time Cutts hit it in the wind, he only rooted it out of there 14 yards. 10 red shirts up, going after him. And once again, he gets it out of there, kicks it away from Frederick, and again it takes a Birmingham bounce. Out of bounds, up near the 48. It was a 30-yard punt. 1:03 now remaining to play.
5 defensive backs in for New Jersey. You back them up at least 20 yards from the line of scrimmage. You say give up the short pass, but don't give up anything over 20 yards, over 20, 25 yards. Don't make it easy on them.
Bobby Lane in there, 12 out of 23 for 133 yards since he came on in relief of Cliff Stoudt. His pass is away short, goes to Darrell Mason, the tight end, and he's brought down at the 39. That's short of a first down. And the clock is rolling along now as Birmingham is out of timeouts. No more.
That was Jim LeClaire that stopped him. If they had scored, if they had made it for a first down, the clock would have stopped.
In the final 2 minutes of each half, it stops as it does in college football. High lob out of bounds, intended for Jim Smith. He had double coverage in the corner, but once he put the ball up that high, throwing it about 55 yards, the wind just took it and drifted it right on off the field of play.
Raleigh Dodge looking on. He's a man who does not get swayed away from his game plan very easily. He knows he has a very young defensive team, and they've got a lot of room to improve.
Well, Joey Jones is a young man that's going to go home and sit down and think about things tonight, too.
Well, I think everyone will go home and think about it. You can't just walk out here and talk about playing football. You have to execute.
Jim Smith dropped 2 passes today right on his hand. Lane back to throw. New Jersey playing center field defense, going deep to the corner. Smith's down there and couldn't come up with it. Gary Barbaro was the man that knocked it away. Timed his leap just right. Gary's a big fella anyway, 6'4", 210.
Well, we call it Big Ben. They sent 3 wide receivers down into the same zone. The object of this is to either have one man go up, make the catch, or at least keep the ball alive. Maybe it'll be deflected. You'll see Jim Smith going up for here. It's tipped and batted around. Joey Jones almost is in position to pick up the deflection.
It is 4th down and 2 for the Birmingham Stallions with 27 seconds to play in the ball game. And New Jersey on a 17-6 lead. going for his first down. Darrell Mason had it. Ball is belted loose by Bob Leopold, and it is called an incomplete forward pass, and the party is over for Birmingham.
21 seconds on the clock. New Jersey with possession of the ball. Bobby Lane couldn't pull off a miracle. Couldn't come off the bench and lead the team into the end zone to get a touchdown. Walt Michaels has to be happy, as his first game as head coach will be a victory.
A crowd estimated at 62,300. And just having been to Legion Field so many times over the years, I would say that estimate is not very far off. All New Jersey has to do now is run out the clock. They take the snap and get it going, and that ought to do it, because Birmingham, with no timeouts remaining, cannot stop it. And so it's about time to loosen the helmets and shake hands and go their respective ways to think about things. Birmingham going to Los Angeles for their next game, and the New Jersey Generals going down to play a Jacksonville team that was a big surprise with a big win today over the Washington Federal. So your final score here in Birmingham, Alabama. The New Jersey Generals open it up with a win over Birmingham by a score of 17-6.